Would I do it again? In a minute. In 1978, I was leader of the Los Angeles Hells Angels. I was 100% committed. I was ready to give my life. More than once, it was on the line. I thought it was riding and partying and brotherhood. Now I'm going to tell you a story. So listen, there's a drug dealer in Los Angeles, and he's got a fake Hells Angel patch. We're going to get this guy, and we're going to stop him. He's in a bar. I break into the car, and I've got a gun with a silence. He gets in, but to my surprise, there's two guys. And I said, I know you've got the patch, man. He goes, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I go, start driving. We're going out Highway 14. We go out to the desert. The sun's going down. So we're all going to watch the sunset. Probably going to be your last one. And I get the shovel out. I tell him, start digging. Make it wide enough for two. He starts babbling like a baby. What if I had the patch?
Were you prepared to kill him? What's up, guys? Thank you so much, as always, for watching my channel. If you have not hit that subscribe button, can you please do me a huge favor and hit that right now? I appreciate everyone who's been watching these videos consistently. The number one analytic we need to get these videos into the algorithm is you guys hitting the subscribe button, though. And when you do that, we get them in and we can continue getting great guests. So thank you to everyone who's already taken the time to do that. And thank you to all of you who are going to do so now. Enjoy the episode. George, you got one of those lives that if they wrote it in a movie script, I don't know that anyone would even believe it.
Well, you know, sometimes I tell these stories and people call bull on me. But I'm telling you, everything I tell you is how I remember it.
I believe you. There's a long track record of that as well, because people were investigating you for so many years and they couldn't even believe who you were and how much influence you had and how likable you were at the same time, you know?
Well, you know, decade after decade after decade of investigations, and you know, I don't know if it all came tumbling down in 2011. That was my last indictment, and I hope that's my last hurrah with the federal government. But they started investigating me on a 2007 firebombing. They said I ordered a firebombing of a tattoo shop competition.
Did you do it?
No, I did not. But somebody came to me and told me they were going to do it.
Oh.
And I said, I think that's a bad idea.
Right.
And, you know, I said, you're not even in the tattoo business, man. He goes, I just don't like these guys disrespecting us. They came into our town, opened a tattoo shop. It was kind of unwritten rule, you know. Ventura was Ventura Hells Angels tattoo territory, if you will. The ironic thing is ultimately he became the informant on me, said I sent him to blow the places up with the firebomb. And, you know, it's ironic. Starts in 2007. I get indicted in 2011. My daughter takes it to 2013. My daughter's an attorney. She starts representing me. And
your daughter's an attorney?
My daughter's a criminal attorney.
That's
And
nice.
It's very nice. And 2011, she kept chipping away at it from 2011 to 2013, and reached a point in time. Finally, the Judge Wu, federal judge in Los Angeles, he said he looked at the U.S. attorney. He said, "This case is not what you want it to be." He goes, "I know you want this to be your career case, but this isn't it." And so I'm sitting over at the defense table, really smug, like, yeah. And then he looks at me and points his finger. He goes, "And you, Mr. Christie, God only knows what you've gotten away with." He goes, "So what I want you to do, I want you to go down to Judge Walter's courtroom, and I want you guys to come back with a deal. Make a deal." He goes, I don't want to take this case any further. So my daughter went down there and with me in tow, and the whole conference started out brilliant because Judge Walters looks at me and he said, "Do you want these guys out of here?" They were two FBI agents and a United States prosecutor attorney. And I said, yeah, I want them out of here.
So get the whole other team off.
So he kicked him out. And so he starts talking to me like he's my buddy, you know. And he goes, "Look, George," he goes, we all understand here what mandatory minimums mean, right? And I go, "Yes." And he goes, "You know, you have 3 mandatory minimums of life on the end of this indictment. You've got count 6, 7, and 8. They're all mandatory minimums of life." And he goes, "You get found guilty. Judge Wu's going to be compelled to sentence you. He goes, how about we drop all the counts except count 1. He goes, you make a open plea, 0 to 5 years. He goes, Judge Wu can give you whatever he wants in between that. He goes, would you be willing to do that? And I said, I looked at my daughter, and my daughter went, yeah, man, I thought I could beat it,
I'll make that deal.
Yeah, I know. And so she kind of like kicked me like, you stupid, So we take the deal. They bring the feds back in. He basically tells them, this is what we want to do, and this is what I think we should do. And we went back down. We walked into Judge Wu's courtroom, and Judge Wu stopped. He was doing another proceeding, and he goes, uh-oh. He goes, looks like we got a deal. Both clients look pissed off. And that was the deal. We walked back into the courtroom. I changed my plea to guilty, and about 3-4 months later, he sentenced me, and he gave me the luxury of I could let one of my other lawyers drive me to Texas, and I could submit to I could turn myself in at the federal prison, the La Tuna federal prison. So
nice place.
Oh, it's just
good amenities.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, it was great. It's funny. Are you familiar with the band X?
With the what?
The band X.
Like the music band X?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
With
No.
Exena and John Doe and
I don't think so. No.
Well, Exena and I are friends. She's the singer in X, and she was writing me every week on the road. And when I first got there, I was getting these postcards from her, and her name is Exena Cervenka. Yeah, there she is,
Got her
right
there.
Exena Cervenka, and they thought she was some sort of Russian revolutionist, and she was hiding. She was changing town to town each week, So I got these intelligence guys. Who is this person, and why are they in a different location every week? I said, well, because I go, you guys are investigators? And they go, yeah. And I go, okay, well, she's a rock star, and she's on the road, man. I go, come on, put some work in,
She's working for Putin on the road in
She
between
is.
shows, though,
Yeah, I hear you.
kind of
She's got some pull, man.
Yeah.
She may be the one that ends this war in the Ukraine. Who knows?
God only knows. How many billions have we sent over there at this
God
point?
only knows.
It's like 150. I lost count at this point, Adam. It's
I don't know.
we got Adam off camera, by the way, today.
Yeah, and he's the shadow. Man.
That's right. Yeah, he made it happen last minute.
Yeah, he does, man. He makes that shit happen. Yeah. I hate to answer the phone when he calls. Sometimes I got to go to work.
Yeah, by the way, this was just so people have some context here. I guess you were trying to get in touch with me for a while, Adam. My bad. Did not see that. But thanks for texting me today through our friend Dave Stratweiser. But it was like 3:15. It's December 30th, so I'm like wrapping up the year, and you guys are like, "Hey, we're in town. We can do a podcast." I'm like, "Great." I'm like, "When are you leaving?" You're like, "Tomorrow morning." I'm like, "We're doing it tonight." So
and
I appreciate you last minute.
And I appreciate taking the time out of your schedule as well.
Of course, this is the job, man.
I hear you, man. That's being on the road. At 80s almost. I'm hooking up to 80, man. It's tough.
You
man.
look good.
I'm feeling good.
You look good. You look buff too.
I am. I've been working out. I'm going to 100. That's my goal.
You going to 100?
Yeah, I'm going for 100.
Why not 110?
Well, I'm gonna start out small.
Okay.
100, and then
Set at 20.
If I'm feeling good, I might add 5 on it. Okay. Then another. I'm gonna do it a portion at a time.
You look like you're still putting up 2 plates.
Yeah, well, I don't want to brag, but I will.
Yeah, he's going to go to the combine next year. But sorry, I cut you off from when you were talking about. We kind of like skipped to some of the end here, but we're going to get to the whole story, everyone. So don't worry about that. It's certainly a wild, long tale. But when you ended up checking into prison in Texas, this was 2013 at this point?
2013.
Okay, so that 2011 indictment took a couple of years. You make the deal. How long did he sentence you to?
A year and a day. So I would get good time.
Right. Okay.
He goes, I'm going to sentence you to a year and a day. And he goes, I don't want you to think that's punishment. He goes, I'm going to give you a day over a year, over 365, so you get your good time. So, I got out. I got a little time off for good behavior.
Like 250, 270, something like that?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. Who's counting,
Yeah. It's
just time, man.
Just do a lot of pull-ups in prison, right?
It's just time,
I heard feds a lot better than state. All my guys always tell me that.
I've got 2 Fed stories. You want to hear about the feds in 86?
Yes.
Or you want to hear about the feds in 2013?
Yes.
Okay.
Both.
So first time I get indicted, I never had a pair of handcuffs on in my life. In 1986, I become the target of FBI, and I go big. I get murder for hire, conspiracy, life on one count, 20 years on the other. I'm arrested, no bail.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
Right.
yeah. But I was arrested.
Right.
No. So I decided I'm going to fight it. It's a murder hoax. There was never anybody hurt, never anybody murdered. I never reached out to the individuals that confronted me. They came to me. They came to the Ventura clubhouse, introduced themselves under false pretenses, and came back a couple of weeks later and said, the reason I'm here is because we want to do you a favor. We want to show you some respect. And I in the interim, I found out this guy's a high-ranking Mexican mafia member.
And for people out there, just so they have context, when you say Mexican mafia, you're not referring to the cartel. You're referring to something else, right?
I'm referring to the the Mexican mafia that runs the California prison system and runs Southern California. They run all the gangs in Southern California.
Got it.
And they have a very unique system. You have to pay homage to them. You got to pay a tax. If you're a street gang in Los Angeles, if you're a Sereno, as they identify with, if you're a Sereno and you're not paying street tax to the MA, you're going to have a problem.
Regardless of race, or just like Latino gangs have to pay to them?
Latino gangs.
Okay. All right. So you weren't paying a tax to them?
No, I didn't have to pay a tax. But
Got it.
They came to me and said, a former associate of mine had a $10,000 drug bill that he kind of rung up, and they were going to kill him unless, of course, I wanted to pay the bill. And, I said, no, I don't think I want to invest $10,000 in that gentleman. And they go, well, we're going to kill him. And over the course of the following 3 weeks, I had probably 19 conversations with him. They had 2 of the conversations taped. They said the tape machine wasn't working on the other taped conversations. They thought they were taping them, but they weren't. I mean, that's total bull.
Right.
But I wound up getting indicted by the FBI. Went to this is before they had the the Metropolitan Holding Center. I went to Terminal Island. It was actual prison. And if you had a beef in Southern California, in Los Angeles area, you went to the Terminal Island prison and they housed you there. You did your case there. You drove into court every day. Then however your case was resolved, you either went home or they sent you on your way down the line. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In the old Gray Goose, I guess they called it. Yeah. Have you been on the Gray Goose?
I have not.
Never had the pleasure.
No. Yeah. No, I don't think I want the pleasure.
Yeah, you probably that's probably a good choice.
Yeah, I'm avoiding asking some questions on this too because I want to leave people hanging so that they understand the context of the story as we go along. Because obviously this was a big. In '86, like you said, huge. First time, and it
was all over the papers. It was on CNN. It was in the paper. CNN was a fledgling station, and I'll tell you an interesting story. I don't think I've told before on the air.
We've all been there. Winter rolls around, and you start digging through your closet for warmer clothes, but nothing feels quite right anymore. Those beat-up pants from college, probably time to retire them, which means it's also time for you to upgrade to Rag & Bone's infused denim. You can do that today and get 20% off your entire order with code Julian at rag-bone.com. That link is in my description below. You used to have to choose between jeans that looked great and jeans that actually lasted. With Rag & Bone, you finally get both. Jeans built to move with you, hold their shape, and keep their character over time. With multiple fits, from slim and straight to relaxed or athletic, there's a style for every preference and occasion. These aren't your average jeans. Rag & Bone overdoes it by design, with premium denim and construction that make them stand out while still feeling effortless. And the wash is where the infused denim really shines. Each pair goes through an 8-step over-dye process, giving rich layered tones and deep dimensional shades that look polished yet effortless. Over time, the color and texture evolve, adding even more character with an authentic, lived in touch. This is Rag and Bone at their best. 2 decades of denim expertise packed into a pair of jeans you'll reach for every day. I wore Rag and Bone every single day when we were in Paris and Rome. We walked those cities inside and out all day, every day, right, Thief?
Oh, yeah.
Most comfortable pair of jeans you're going to wear. So upgrade your denim just like I did with Rag and Bone today. For a limited time, our listeners are going to get 20% off their entire order with code Julian at rag-bone.com. That link is in my description below. That's 20% off at rag-bone.com with promo code Julian. When they ask you where you heard about them, please support our show and let them know I sent you.
CNN did a big story with the thought I was going to get convicted. And when I got found not guilty, they scrubbed the story. And, they had interviewed all these people, and they had the story all set to go, Hell's Angel leader guilty of murder for hire. And it was Hell's Angel leader not guilty. Hell's Angel leader framed by United States government. And that wasn't quite the headline they wanted. So I came home feeling kind of bulletproof. I'm in my 30s. I may have just turned 40. I'm feeling pretty strong, feeling pretty powerful.
This is right in the John Gotti era, too.
Yeah,
You're the Teflon of the West Coast.
Yeah, I just beat the federal government, man. I'm bulletproof. But there was another informant waiting for me. I guess it was a backup idea they had. And this gentleman was a Hell's Angel from Alaska. Are you familiar with the name Tony Tate?
I know Andrew Tate.
No, different guy. Tony Tate was a Hell's Angel from Alaska, and he decided to entrap his brothers in several of these criminal acts. And I was one of the targets. So I had just beat the case. I came home, and when I was in federal prison fighting my case for the year, Tony Tate kind of rose up through the ranks. And my position was, at that time, was West Coast chairman. I was kind of like a de facto leader. The Hells Angels don't have an official voted-in leader. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I'm not. No.
A lot of people don't know that. Each charter is autonomous. That's why the feds have never been successful with a racketeering charge against the Hells Angels, because we're not structured that way. We're autonomous to ourselves in each charter. We certainly have a code of conduct, if you will, and some rules and regulations. And for years, Sonny Barger, I don't know if you're familiar with Sonny. Sonny was
the top dog, right?
Yeah, he was the de facto leader for the Hells Angels. I returned. Tony Tate has risen through the ranks, but unbeknownst to his brothers, he's cut a deal with the feds. He didn't even have a beef. He just wanted to write a book and get a movie made about him and set up the Hells Angels.
He sang just
for money.
For money.
Well, I probably got $500,000, maybe more. I don't know. But,
couldn't make that the Hells Angels?
Well, I don't know. I thought he could have, but maybe he wasn't as enterprising as he pretended to be.
I guess not. People are getting a lot of previews here, but let's go back to the beginning, George, because your life, the way it got here is quite unique. It's not like you grew up in it when you were 5, your dad was in it, and then you got initiated into it and became the whole thing.
Like, they forced me.
Yeah, you had a long journey there.
I did have a long journey.
You grew up in California, though, is that right?
I grew up in Ventura, California. I was born in Ventura, California. My grandparents all came in from Greece. Both sides. They were all immigrants. And you speak Greek?
No. My best friend from all my life is a dual citizen, so I know about 7 words. They're mostly all bad, but I got a good accent.
I know. I was thinking that wasn't the kindest things you were saying.
Yeah, no. That means, I think, like, what, face asshole or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't calling you.
But I wasn't taking it personal.
Yeah, I know.
So, my family was very traditional. I came from a small family. I was the firstborn, and then my mom had some complications, and And, back in those days, your parents didn't discuss with you, well, mommy can't have any more babies because of this. It was, I have no brothers and sisters.
Right.
And that's basically how I was brought up. My mother tried to have another child and it didn't happen. And I wasn't going to have any brothers and sisters. So it was, for a Greek family, it was relatively small.
Yeah.
But, I had a lot of cousins, a lot of aunts, a lot of uncles. I got my first taste of motorcycle in probably 1955, 56. I was in the San Fernando Valley with my father, and there was a motorcycle coming up the street, and when it got to the stoplight, he stopped, and he immediately caught my attention, and it was the first really outlaw I'd ever saw. This guy had a cutoff on, he had big black boots with a big buckle on it, black hair pulled back, sunglasses pushed up on his head. And everybody, it almost seemed like time sort of stood still and everybody was watching him. Everybody seemed fearful of him. My father seemed a little uncomfortable. And then suddenly the light changed. He dropped his glasses, threw it in gear, bam, and he was gone. And the man talking to my father threw a tirade. He had a thick Italian accent, and he looked at me, and he said, "Look at him. He's a goddamn animal." And then he spit on the ground. He looked at me. "That's your America." And I thought, yeah, that's my America, man. And metaphorically, I jumped on I don't even know if metaphorically is a word, but
It is.
But it is. Thank you. I jumped on the back of that motorcycle, and I was gone. It wasn't another 10 years till I got a bite, but that image never left me. That outlaw spirit somehow captured me that day, and I liked. I don't know. Maybe I was rebellious. I liked how people responded to him. I thought, this guy is controlling the whole narrative here, and he's not even doing anything, man. He's just being himself. He didn't look at anybody. He was, in a sense, he was passive except for the loud motorcycle. And, like I said, he was gone in an instant.
Quiet power in a way.
Yeah.
Loud presence.
Loud presence, quiet power, unassuming power,
Right.
but you knew he had power of some sort. And, shortly after that, I discovered that I came from a poor family. I wanted to remember Bob's Big Boys. Do you even know that? You might. Be
I
too
do
young.
know that
Do you
term,
know Bob's
actually.
Big Boy?
Yeah. I
Bob's Big
thinking of a
Boy
couple different things.
had just opened, and we lived in Anaheim at the time, and there were Bob's Big Boys everywhere.
These are the burgers, right?
Yeah, Bob's Big Boy, man. 19 cents.
Yeah.
You get a burger.
A few more cents now.
Yeah, a few more. So I kept telling my dad, "I got to have one of them burgers, Dad. I got to have one of them burgers." And my mom and dad, they're talking in Greek. I don't speak fluent, but I understand. They're thinking of a way for us to get the burger, and I'm not thinking about the money. I'm thinking about the burger. And so my dad, I see the burger stand. My dad pulls in, and he did something we never did before. He opens all the doors of the car and he takes the seats out, and he starts rifling through the dust balls and stuff under the seat, and they're looking for money. And I'm tripping out, and I'm thinking, wow, this is really cool. Not only am I going to get a burger, we're on a treasure hunt. And then people were stopping, and they were looking at us, and they were laughing. I thought I was laughing. I thought they were laughing with us, man. And my mom and dad started talking Greek, and I looked at my mom. My mom was staring at those people. And if death, death ray, man.
Oh, yeah.
And I all of a sudden it was like an epiphany. I'd realized, man, we were poor. We were scraping the bottom of the seat for money.
What did your parents do?
My dad, my mom didn't work. My dad was either a truck driver, a bartender, or a chef. And I think he walked off more jobs than he ever held. He's one of them guys, you piss him off, he'd walk off the job.
There's the rebel streak.
Perhaps.
Okay.
The rebel streak I got from my dad, but the mean streak I think I got from my mom.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
It's very Greek.
Yeah, it is very Greek, isn't it? Yeah. So, I realized we were poor, and I referenced back to that outlaw. And I thought about him on that street corner. I thought about the way people acted. And I thought, you know what? I'm not going to let people laugh at me, man. And
did you juxtapose him with like your dad and kind of look at him as a powerful figure and maybe look at your dad as lesser?
You know, and I'm ashamed to say that, but
I understand.
You absolutely hit it on the head. And I was thinking, you know, why can't you be like that? Why can't you assert yourself? Why can't we have money? Why do we have to take the seats out of the car and look for money and have people laugh at us?
Right.
And so, you know, that's that story. I wrote a stage play. Are you familiar with Outlaw Chronicles?
You wrote a stage play too?
Yeah. I
You've done a lot in your life.
I did a stage play. I went across country.
No shit.
And if you look it up, the Outlaw, George Christie Outlaw stage play, the reviews are killer, man. And I got voted one of the top 5 shows in Las Vegas the week we were there. And
that's here it is, 2018.
Yeah.
Riding into the limelight. Former Hell's Angel, George Christie, hits the stage with Outlaw. And then here's the full article. This is on vcreporter.com. People can Google this right there. Very cool.
Yeah, and so, you know,
it's a one-man show?
One-man show.
Wow.
2 hours. Stellar reviews. I don't think it was managed properly. We didn't lose any money, didn't really make any money. You know, made enough money to go across country, and I think maybe that was good enough, you know, for a stage play. But one of the lines in the stage plays, I describe that, you know, and I get very animated up on the stage, and I describe it, and then I look at the audience and I tell them, you know, that day I decided I was never going to scrape for money again.
Right.
And you know, for a while, long time there, until the cops took it all, I ran around with $4,000 or $5,000 in my pocket at a time, you know, and everybody on my crew had money. You know, nobody was broke, including my parents. I made sure that they got taken care of. And later that came back to bite me in 2001 when my mom took the stand in one of my trials. It's a very funny, unique story. I don't know if you want to tell it in chronological order. If you'd like me to,
we can skip around real fast on that.
Yeah.
So was your mom like subpoenaed to testify?
Yes.
I guess by the state.
This is what we were going to do. We were going to use equity in her house and her bank money to bail me out. My bail was $1 million, and we were trying to put it together. So my mother's house had been raided, and they were looking for ways to tie us in together. So my mom gets up on the stand, and the prosecutor tells her, he goes, "So, Georgie, a good boy?" She goes, "He's a very good boy." And he goes, "Oh, really? And how's he good?" She goes, "He takes care of his mother." "Oh, he does. Does he give you money?" "Of course he gives me money." "Has he ever made your house payment?" "Of course he made." But yeah, exactly. You're in the back going like this. She goes, "Of course he makes my house payment. I told you he's a good boy." And so the prosecutor looks at the judge and says, "Your Honor, the money's commingled. The money's no good. You know, we cannot use Mrs. Christie's money to help her son, either in bail or with payment to the lawyers. It's tainted." And my mother figures out, and she's looking at me, and she figures out what's going on. So she looks at the prosecutor, she looks at the judge, and she looks at the prosecutor and goes, "Do you think it's funny to fool an old lady?" She goes, "You know what? You're not very nice. You know, my son's nice, but you're not very nice." And so she looks at the judge. Now, what you have to remember is when they raided my mom's house, she had $15,000 hidden under the mattress. It was her gambling money. She's a gambler. Yeah,
Interesting.
It was her gambling money. So she told the judge, she goes, "I'll tell you another thing, Your Honor." She goes, "I want my goddamn gambling money back. I want it fair and square." And you know what? The judge gave it back to her. He ordered it back to her.
No one wants a Greek lady.
No.
Like
and you know what was unique about it? The judge says, "Look, Miss Christie, we're not going to be able to use your money to help your son, but we're going to give you your $15,000 back.
Goddamn right.
She goes, how's that stand? She goes, it sounds goddamn good. That's exactly what she said. You've been around Greek ladies, huh? And so my mom, we were trying to put this bail together, so we had to change course. And we wound up, are you familiar with what a property bond is?
Remind me.
In the state of California, you can use equity in property. So if your bail's $1 million, you have to give $2 million in equity. You have to double it. So what we did is we put up $2.4 million in equity in property, and I bailed out. But it took me a year to get out. It was a long journey, long process. Unfortunately, I was in solitary confinement the whole time, isolated from everybody. I had a protective order.
What's that like?
Well, you can't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
So there was nobody I could talk to. I could talk to my lawyer, talk to my bail bondsman. But my wife and I were estranged at the time. But they arrested her. They arrested my son because they were holding my family hostage. They wanted me, and they were trying to get me to make a deal. And ultimately, I made a deal. But the case, they had a 59-count state racketeering charge. It collapsed under its own weight.
59 counts?
59 counts of state racketeering.
That's a few counts.
It is a few counts. And you can count on me.
Wow.
So I probably shouldn't be cavalier and laugh about it. There's probably some investigator out there going, he has not learned his lesson.
You seem like you learned your lesson to me.
Yeah,
You seem at peace with things.
I am at peace with things.
You lay off this guy.
Look, this is the deal. Those guys are cops, right? Mm-hmm. Hell's Angels are outlaws. Mm-hmm. They're supposed to come after us.
Cop needs a criminal.
So I have no animosity towards them, and I have no hard feelings. And, it is what it is. And, I was on the History Channel, Outlaw Chronicles. Are you familiar with that?
I think I have heard that.
I had a 6-episode series on the Outlaw Chronicles, and just to show there was no hard feelings, the Bradbury, the Ventura prosecutor, the head attorney, I invited him to come on the History Channel and debate me, but he declined.
So he's still not willing to be total friends with you.
No, but we had coffee together, and I said, "Look, this is an opportunity for you to tell your story, and it's the opportunity for me to tell the truth."
I've had two different kinds of people in here who have had run-ins with the law over the years, because I've had many over the many episodes we've done. That's one subcategory we've done. But there's some guys who, and I would characterize you as one of them, who kind of got it. Like, you understood this is the way things are, this is the life you've chosen, this is the game you play. And it's funny, like my one friend Luis Navia was the chief international smuggler for the cartels for 25 years. And he got caught, and it was like 15 different countries catching him in this sting in Venezuela in 2000. They called him the Greek. He wasn't Greek. But
I think I've heard that reference to the Greek before.
Probably, it was in The Wire.
What year was okay? That's that's where I know it
that's
from.
Probably
because I remember that whole little Greek crew.
Yep,
were down and they were doing all this stuff. Yeah, and did they get away in The Wire?
That was season 2. I think so. I haven't watched The Wire in a while. It's one of the best shows of all time.
I'm thinking that they.
I think they kind of
somehow got away with it. Something happened. And that's the way police shit happens.
Yeah.
Some people walk. Sometimes the people that go down aren't that complicit. And
all right, I want to talk about something most guys don't think about until it starts to actually become a problem. I may not be old, but even I've learned over the years that the things that quietly shape your health are usually the ones you don't really notice until they start to decline. Circulation is one of those things. What's interesting, though, is that literally everything in your body depends on blood flow. Energy, focus, recovery, even how resilient you feel day to day. And one of the key drivers of healthy circulation is nitric oxide. And this is where my friends at Juvenon come in with their supplement Blood Flow 7. Which you can get today for 30% off with a money-back guarantee by going to bloodflow7.com/Julian. That link is in my description below. Now, just what is nitric oxide? Nitric oxide is the molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and widen so oxygen and nutrients can flow freely. But nitric oxide production naturally declines with age. It's just biology. And when it drops, you feel it. Not just cold hands or feet, but less stamina, slower recovery, potentially also bedroom struggles, which, yeah, even healthy men in their 30s and 40s can experience. Juvenile supplement I mentioned, Blood Flow 7, has a unique formula that focuses specifically on this pathway. You can take the Blood Flow 7 capsules in the morning or before you work out. No stimulants necessary, just natural support for something foundational. So once again, the link to get this product is bloodflow7.com/Julian, linked in my description below, where you are going to get a generous 30% off and a money-back guarantee, which I don't think you're going to need. Again, that's bloodflow7.com/Julian. Give it a shot. I think you'll notice a difference almost immediately.
You know, it was funny when the day I got sentenced, Judge Clark, who I always thought didn't like me, he scolded the district attorney publicly. He said, I don't understand. He goes, why are you coming after Mr. Christie? He goes, I don't see any complicity at all. I mean, he said this in open court. He goes, but yet you indict him. And he goes, what, you holding his family hostage? What's going on here? And my son, who I didn't know somehow had this desire to be a pharmacist, brought 1 million Vicodin into town.
Pharmacist.
Yeah.
I like how you put that.
Yeah. He brought 1 million Vicodin into town. His friend, Joshua Adams, who was a Air Force airman, was head of the pharmaceuticals in the sick bay for the Air Force at the I forget what Navy Air Force base it was. And he was in charge of the Vicodin, so he was, 100,000 for the Air Force, 100,000 for yeah.
You had no knowledge of this.
No, I have no knowledge.
That's right.
I mean, suspicions.
Okay.
But I don't like to butt in other people's business.
Going back to seeing The Outlaw though, when you were 10, prior to that day, did you have heroes or people you looked up to? And I mean, even your parents too.
My grandfather.
Your grandfather.
My grandfather, Harry. I'll tell you a story about Harry. You want to know about Harry? We called him the governor. He sat at the head of the table when we ate, and you didn't touch a utensil until he literally broke or cut the bread, and then that started the meal. He would break the bread or cut the bread, and depending on what type of bread was out, and that's how the meal started. And of course, my cousin Johnny, and I talked about him earlier off camera, the piano player.
Oh, yeah.
We would try to sneak a piece of food, and then Yaya would, she'd smack us, because we were trying to get some food, just to get over, And, what they started at a young age. My grandmother used to always tell me, you're a very bad boy, Georgie, but Yaya loves you, And so I always figured, hell, I can get away with this shit, and they'll still love me, And that was a wrong message to send to me. But anyways, all joking aside, I'm not joking. I go into he's a shoe cobbler, and he came over from Greece.
With your parents at the same time?
No.
Yeah, but did he come at the same time?
No. I'll tell you the story. My grandfather came first.
Okay.
He was 25 or 26. My grandmother got on the boat. Now, they were betrothed to each other. They hardly knew each other, but they were betrothed in Greece. She was 12 when she got on the boat. When she arrived here, she was 13, and they got married, and they lived together for 70 years. Just, old school, man.
Different time.
Yeah, different time, old school. So he's out there cobbling in the shoe repair shop every day, making shoes, repairing shoes, a real smart guy. And in fact, I'll tell you some insight he had. I went out to him one day and I said, Papu, I'm grown up. And I said, you got to teach me how to be a shoe repairman and a shoemaker. And he looked at me. And at the time, I thought, this is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I said, teach me, Papu, come on. And he goes, Georgie, in the future, people won't fix shoes. They'll just throw them away. People will wear shoes, and they'll make so many shoes, they'll just toss them. And I go, they'll never do that. And, here we are, right?
He was right.
Yeah, he was right, man. And this is a guy that never, ever went to school. I mean, he didn't have one day of formal education, but he was a smart man. So my cousin Johnny and I, we used to borrow like 20 cents from him. There was a pharmacy on the corner of where we lived, or he lived. I lived with him sometimes, just for the summer. We'd go down there and get a Coke, and they'd they give you a shot of cherry juice in it. And we were making cherry Cokes back in the 50s.
Yeah.
So I go, you asked him, Johnny. No, you ask him, Georgie. So I think I asked him. So I went to him. I go, Papu. I go, we want to borrow 25 cents. We want to go to the pharmacy and get a Coke. He stops. He's working on the shoes. He stops, picks up a rag, and he's wiping his hands off, and he's staring at us, and he's scaring the shit out of me. And I'm thinking, why is he looking at me like that? He goes, 25 cents, huh? We go, yeah, Papu. And he has a little book he carries in his front pocket, with the old school, with the plastic.
Pocket protector.
Yeah, he pulls out the book. He's looking at me, and he's flipping the pages. He looks at Johnny, he looks at me, he goes, I can't do it. What do you mean? He goes, you still owe 20 cents. And he said, I said, but Papu. And he goes, no. He says, you told me you pay me back. He goes, you didn't ask for the money, you asked for a loan. I gave you a loan, and you didn't pay me back. Of course, we went into the house crying to Yaya. She gave us the money, under the table, man.
Went around them.
Yeah, oh yeah. We learned how to do that real quick. Went down, got our cherry Coke. But, that's the governor, man. It's kind of very stoic. Mm-hmm. He worked till he was 85. He had cataracts on his eyes. Are you familiar with cataracts?
I just had in a eye doctor expert, Joseph Allen, and he was explaining the entire thing, all that. Yeah.
Now, when you get old, you're going to get cataracts, man. And I guess everybody gets cataracts.
I drive a Rincoln. But
yeah, I know you do. But you're going to get a cataract at some point.
Adam got it.
Yeah, I know. I got it too. Adam, he's back. He's kind of like, he's my straight man.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you need one of those.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah,
And you should see our comedy act. It's amazing.
Oh, you guys got a 2-man
Well,
act
we're working it together. We're not ready to go on the road, but at some point in time.
Okay.
The only problem is I can't get into Canada still. So.
They don't let you up there.
They don't let me up there.
We could work on that. I know a couple guys.
No Canada, no New Zealand, no Australia.
No New Zealand. That's such a random one.
I know, man.
That's right. I keep forgetting the goddamn crown.
My passport's flagged, and the last time I went to.
What about the fake one?
Well, the fake one. I mean, I don't want to talk about that on the air. You said we wouldn't talk about that. So, he worked.
He had cataracts.
He could hardly see. I mean, he's feeling. I'm watching him going, Papu, can you see? I'm grown up now. Papu, can you see? And this is right before he retired, and he couldn't see. And I remember going into the rest home where we had to put him at home. He couldn't, something I'm hoping I don't have to look forward to. But, and he was starting to get kind of dementia, and he thought the Bolsheviks were coming, something to do with the Russian Revolution, because the goddamn Bolsheviks are everywhere. I was like, fuck, Papu.
Go to sleep, Grandpa.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a guy I respected. I respected him, and there was a little fear there, as well.
Again, I think there's a theme there. Obviously he's different from the outlaw biker, but you talk about the guy that you knew him as a young kid is sitting at the head of the table. He cuts the bread first.
Right.
You said stoic, so quiet power in that way, right? Very real about the world. Gave advice to you as well. Right. I see where that's coming from.
Yeah. I mean, I very traditional morals, foundation. I mean, it's great, From there, I go into the Marine Corps, and
did you always want to be in the Marines, or how?
No, I got pissed off at my high school principal.
Why?
He accused me of cheating on an IQ test, and it was you stop and think about this. You're bringing a kid in that finally gets bad grades. He's dyslexic. They don't know
dyslexic.
Yeah,
too.
they don't know they don't even know what dyslexic. It's not even a title for it.
Yeah,
they don't know what it is. I can't focus. I can't read the pages. The numbers are jumping around. The letters are jumping around. I spend my time looking out the window because it's just a white roar. Like the teacher's up there talking, and it's just like I'm just not getting it, man. It's just like white noise, So I take this test. I ace it somehow. I don't know what the score was. They don't tell you the score, and I don't know how they grade it. But they call me in the office, and they accuse me of cheating. And I said, and he goes, "You're cheating, man." He goes, "Your grades suck." He goes, "Your grades suck." And he goes, "You're scoring high on here." He goes, "You got the book. I know you have the answer book, and we want you to give it to us." And I thought to myself, not only are they accusing me of cheating, I left that office. The vice principal, Mr. Killingsworth, I still remember him. I can see him right now sitting across from me. I'm not going to lunge at you, even though I can see his image right now. But I can see him, and I thought to myself, I'm going to leave this office, and nothing has been achieved.
Hey guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge, huge help. Thank you.
He's calling me a thief, and I'm telling him I didn't do it. He can't prove I stole it, and I can't prove I didn't have it. We're in a stalemate. And I thought, if this is polite society, you know what? Fuck you guys. I don't want nothing to do with it. And that night I told my dad I was going to join the Marines, man. I'm out of here. I'm going to quit school. And he goes, no, you're not going to quit school. And you have to understand, like, not a lot of education in my family. For me, graduating from high school, my dad quit school in the 6th grade. My mom finished. My grandfather never went to school. None of my grandparents went to school. Getting a high school diploma was like a college diploma. It was a graduation. Yeah. And he goes, "You got to graduate." And I said, "No, I want to join the Marines." And I made a deal with them. They said, "You finish high school and graduate. Your mom and I will sign up." There was a Marine Reserve unit right in town, and all my buddies were joining. And so I...
Is this right when Vietnam was breaking out?
Yeah. So I was 17. They signed. Both parents signed for me. You had to get both signatures from the parents when you were 17. In 1966, man, I took the oath to join the Marines. Wow. In February of 1965, I took the oath. February 66, I left on the bus. And let me tell you the kind of humor my family has. My father was a CB, World War II.
Oh, wow.
My mother was a Marine.
Your mom was a Marine?
My mother was a Marine, World War II.
Mom was a savage.
Yeah, she was a savage, man. So check it out. What does my dad do? He thinks it's really fucking funny. He calls the newspaper and said, "My son's going in the Marines. He's following in his mother's footsteps." And the fucking headline in the newspaper, the day I left for boot camp, everybody's sitting on the bus and they all had a copy of the paper.
Oh my God.
And it's, I walk on the bus and everybody starts clowning me and I'm going, what the hell's going on, man? And I look at they show me the paper. Son follows in mother's footsteps, leaving for U.S., for the Marine Corps recruit depot, San Diego. And I'm just like fuming, man.
Goddamn,
my dad thought that was the funniest goddamn thing he ever did.
It is kind of funny.
It is funny now that I reflect back. Yeah. Imagine being 18 years
not
old.
Great. Not
great.
great.
I wasn't happy.
Did you have, there's something else that happened in my life unrelated when I was younger as well, where
impacted you?
Yes.
Positively or
negatively? Where I was accused by a principal of doing something I didn't do.
Bastards, aren't they?
You know what I mean? And you know that feeling. Like when you actually did something wrong, you're like,
you got caught,
shit,
man.
I'm caught.
Yeah.
But like when you're like, no, I didn't do this, and you're dead serious, and they're like, no, you did. Fuck you.
Exactly.
It's the worst feeling ever.
And you know what's really, for me, I don't know for you, I want to hear you tell me, but getting up and walking out, and I'm looking over my shoulder, and there's fucking Killingsworth fucking mad dogging me like, I know you fucking stole that fucking answer book, motherfucker.
I know exactly what you mean.
They wouldn't concede?
They're dug in. They're like, you did it.
And what was the incident?
For me, it was when I was 11. There was a dodgeball game that happened at recess, and a bunch of kids on one side were like launching Nerf balls at the kid who was like kind of the, like a little bit of the runt of the class and whatever, and was always picked on and stuff like that. So he was getting balls launched at him, and to this day, I don't think those guys were like trying to bully him or anything, but because they were all launching
at the same
the
time.
balls at him, and then he was crying afterwards, they're like, "Oh my God, this was an attack and bullying." Meanwhile, there were a bunch of people actually getting around him and like defending him.
Oh, really?
And I was actually one of those people.
Defending him.
Yeah. But it all happened so fast. It's
You got accused of aggressing.
I was
aggressive
accused
behavior.
of
You were a
aggressing
bully.
a teacher who previously didn't like me walked up to me after they pulled the whole class aside and said, "People are going down for this." She walked up to me after that and said, "I know you had something to do with this. You're going down."
Conspiracy.
Yeah, basically. I was like, what the fuck? And I was the farthest thing from like the cool kid or anything like
what
that.
What year was this?
I
Give me a time frame.
was in 5th grade.
And year?
2005. Yeah.
I'm fucking old, man.
Hey, listen, you told me to give the year, not
Yeah, I know, and I wish now I had asked.
Yeah, but it's a scary thing because then they call you into the office. You got the principal in there. You got and I'm like, my mom was a school teacher. So I'm like, oh shit, she's gonna take their side. She's gonna assume the teacher's not lying.
And did she?
Yes. And I at first was like, no, I had nothing to do with this. And then they like the next Monday or Tuesday, it was a Friday, and then Monday or Tuesday they had us all go in like the auditorium for recess, and they're like, we know there's more of you out there. We know exactly who did it. If you don't turn yourself in by 3 o'clock, you're getting expelled. And I sat there as like a scared little kid. Only child as well. I relate to you. Yeah. And I was like, they're just gonna say I did this, and would I rather just like go down and get in a lot of trouble, and maybe my dad beat the shit out of me for this and just take it on the chin, or would I want to get expelled and have it way worse? So I went in there and said I did the whole thing. None of the other guys did anything. I was like a legend
You were
to
the
those
martyr.
people. Yeah, they still, a bunch of them went down, but we were like getting punished for it in detention for weeks after that. And they're like, why? God damn, good for you. But why are you here?
Did you ever tell your mom and dad later?
I did. I told her 4 years later, and
What'd
she
she
felt
say?
so bad. She was like, I would have believed you. In hindsight,
did you feel good? You made her feel bad?
No.
No, I'm being a smart ass.
No, because I think I was at the age where I was just like, again, like I wasn't like the cool kid or anything. I was just like a little scared, and I was like, you know what?
You see, you and I have a similar story. Like when I pled guilty in 2013 to the you know what my final count was? My daughter was hemming and hawing and working, and they dropped count 8, the mandatory minimum of life for the arson and use of control.
I was facing 2 major detentions just to
I know you
compare
were.
these.
Yeah, I want this all to be relative. You know what my final charge was?
What was that?
Interfering in interstate transportation. What the fuck is
transportation?
that? Yeah.
Of what?
I don't know.
He's like, oh, I don't.
I had somebody write me, or I can't remember where I was. I was somewhere, and somebody asked me. I was doing the show, and they asked me, "Well, what did you finally plead guilty of?" I go, "I don't know, guilty of interstate transportation or something." And I didn't. I said, "You don't understand." I go, because he accused me of lying. He goes, you know what you got found guilty of. Would you really get found? I go, look, man, it's a felony. I go, does it matter what it is? As long as it's not something that's forbidden within the prison system where you get stabbed when you go in there. I go, what do I care what I'm found guilty of?
You never went to an island in the Caribbean, right?
No, I did not.
Okay,
not. There's no pictures, anyways.
That's good because there's pictures of everybody. At this point.
So
I saw a picture of Adam down there. No, I'm
Yeah.
fucking with you. Adam's like freaking
No,
out right now.
it's
Adam was
okay,
not
man.
down
You can
there.
bring it out. We've already been told we got a phone call.
So someone was saying, like, because obviously Jeffrey Epstein is like one of the most sadistic, evil people to ever walk this earth. But like, as a side note, looking at all these pictures, they're like, this guy networked with everyone.
I know.
Like, why did he have to be a pedophile? Why not just like write a book on how to network?
Right.
I mean, he knew fucking.
So
It's insane.
I haven't been keeping up on the news the last couple of days. I've been busy. So, who's the latest revelation? Who's been revealed? I know
He had a picture with Walter fucking Cronkite. I have a picture of Walter up there.
Yeah, I like.
I love Walter. He had a picture with Walter Cronkite, like sitting there on a couch talking with like, an 85-year-old Walter Cronkite.
Really?
I'm like, there's no, like, you just see person after person. We've heard people over the years and everything, but it's like he was a sick man who just found a way to schmooze everyone. I mean,
Yeah,
I've had
and-
people sitting in that seat who were at the
and
island.
you know, look, this is the deal. How much complicity did the government have in Florida when they made that initial bargain? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they knew what he did, and you know, he was going home every day.
Crazy.
You know, yeah. I couldn't even get bail. This guy's going home every day
like,
for
wait
a
a minute.
massage.
No, it's.
And you know, I shouldn't make
mess.
fun because now I know someone's going to go. There were victims. In
Oh,
that.
no, we know that.
Yeah,
Anyone who
and-
accuses
yeah, I know that.
is-
You know,
there
and,
were. We all know what a sick guy he was.
Yeah.
It's just like it's sickly comical how in your face it is, and how in your face he was the whole time.
Right.
And it took that long for people to say anything, and now they're like, "Yo, nothing to see here.
right.
Don't worry about it." It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I get it. You know, I'll reserve my comment. on that.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Yeah.
But even
though I didn't say it, you hear me.
yeah. So you did you like have a lot? I think I started to ask you this, but we got off it. Did you have a lot of friends in high school as well? Like,
I
what
had
were
a
you
little
like in
crew
school?
I ran with, and I was a kind of a outlaw surfer guy. And,
Oh, you like surfing?
Oh man, yeah. And then a lot of the guys that little crew that I surfed with, they started drifting off to motorcycles. You know, Stevie Binger got a motorcycle. My buddy, he wasn't a surfer. David Brown got a motorcycle. We all started getting motorcycles. Paul Hibbets, who became have you seen Altamont, the movie Give Me Shelter?
No.
Paul Animal Hibbets is the guy at Altamont that's running around with the fox head hat on. Him and I went to elementary school together, and then high school. Put Paul Animal Hibbets.
Yeah, because I was going to say, "Gimme Shelter" is one of my favorite songs of all time. But,
Yeah.
but what's his name?
Paul Animal Hibbets.
Hibbets.
Hell's Angels. There he is right there. Well, no, that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, biker
Yeah.
subculture, famous for his distinction
Yeah.
for had an
Well,
association
if you
with
go
Hell's Angels.
scroll down
Okay.
and you see Animal and I,
Animal Hibbets right there, Altamont star.
see me and Animal together.
Oh, wow, there you are.
Yeah, that's Animal and myself.
No shit. Santa Claus looking guy.
He is. But Animal put on that hat, that coyote hat or wolf hat, whatever it is.
Like the
at,
Davy Crockett kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's a big, long. You should have asked for a picture of it up there. But he put it on. He found out the Maisley brothers were going to be filming at Altamont, and he didn't want to be recognized. So he wore this hat thinking that he would just be some obscure person, and everybody wanted to know who the guy was in the animal hat. Let me see. I don't.
You see one up there, Adam? Third from the right.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, yeah.
He's talking to the Stones manager there.
Wow,
Sam Cutler. I think
that
that's
is a
Sam
hell of a
Cutler.
hat.
So he wore that hat thinking no one would recognize him. And when, he becomes the star of Altamont, winning the unknown star. And we laughed for years about that. Wow. I go, Animal, you want to stay undercover and put a hat on today?
Yeah, no one will notice.
Yeah,
but he gets a motorcycle. All these guys get motorcycles.
Yeah, and then we start. I become a Los Angeles Hells Angel. He becomes a Oakland Hells Angel. Now,
is this after the Marines at this point? Where are we on your timeline?
Okay, we're all hanging out with the question marks. We're like getting out of high school. I'm getting ready to go in the Marines, but this is the crew. These are the people I'm hanging with, and then I go away to the Marines, and then I come back. A little side note. Animal is the guy that knocked Marty Ballin from the Jefferson Airplane. Do you remember in the movie when Grace goes, well, Hells Angels just knocked out Marty Ballins. Do you remember that?
I don't remember
You
that.
don't remember? Oh, you got to remember
No.
that, man. Come on. Grace
You're killing me on some references
so
today.
great. I'm the trivia king, man.
Yeah.
Grace Slicks gets mad, and she's talking shit. The Hells Angels just knocked out our singer, and so Sweet William grabs the microphone from Grace Slick, and he starts talking shit back to her, and Marty Ballin got smart with the animal, and there's Gracie.
There it is. The phrase is a lyric, a story about Jefferson Airplane singer Marty Ballin getting punched by a Hell's Angel.
Yeah, that was Animal.
Wow.
He knocked him out, and they were friends. And Animal told him, Marty, don't tell me to get fucked. And there's two things you don't do to a Hell's Angel. You don't tell him to get fucked, and you don't call him a punk. Okay. And other than that, you know, you're probably going to be okay.
I won't do either.
Okay, great. So Marty says to Animal, you know, you guys got to quit beating people up. And Animal says, they're pushing the bikes, Marty. And he goes, you know what, Animal, fuck you. And Animal goes, Marty, what did you just say? And he goes, fuck you, Animal. And Animal said, you need to apologize. And Marty said, fuck you. And on the third fuck you, Animal knocked him out. And
man of his word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to.
You get your warning. You got to do it at some point.
Especially on the third warning, you know, the third fuck you, you let him have it. But Animal, he knocked Marty out, ruined our relationship. We were friends with the airplane before that.
And that was that.
That was it, man. We tried to reconstruct it in the early 80s, and you know, it was just a big mess. You know, the Rolling Stones owed us $50,000 because Alan Pizarro killed Meredith Hunter there. Remember Meredith Hunter was killed?
Yeah. Wait, that was, you guys had something to do with that?
Well, Alan Pizarro, a Hell's Angel from San Jose, Meredith Hunter pointed a gun at the stage, and Alan stabbed him. I mean,
all right, so he was standing his ground.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know,
it's legal defense.
Who? Alan or Meredith?
Both?
Both, yeah. Well, Alan was found not guilty, justifiable homicide because of the gun. And the Rolling Stones had promised to pay the legal fees if anybody got in trouble at the event, because we were doing like free, we said we'd take care of the people, keep them away from the stage.
Oh, you were doing security for free when someone died.
Yeah, well, you know, we try to contribute when we can.
Not well.
Well, you know, things got out of hand, you know. But so Meredith got killed. Alan got arrested. There was a subsequent trial. Got found not guilty, justifiable homicide. But the bill was $50,000. So when we went to the Stones, you got to pay the $50,000. Jagger didn't want to pay it.
Yeah.
And after he found out that we had sent a team to blow up his yacht.
Allegedly.
No, we had somebody actually testified in the Senate subcommittee here. It's on the.
All right, I was just trying to help you.
It was on the internet. Well, I want to be honest here.
Yeah.
I don't want to walk away from
that.
this. You know, we didn't color this in any way. You know, just nothing but the truth. So help me God. But now people are probably laughing.
Yeah.
But so the Stones finally gave us the $50,000.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was.
But you don't text with them today, I assume.
Well, you know, invited Keith Richards on my podcast a couple of times, but I haven't heard back from him.
We'll make it happen.
Make it happen. You know.
I don't know, Keith,
you know what? Get him here. I'll come here, and Keith and I will hash it out.
I will fucking do that podcast in a second.
Okay, well, let's do it, you know.
I got mushrooms in there for Keith, too. We'll have a good time.
You know who gave me my first batch of mushrooms?
Jefferson Airplane?
Jerry Garcia. From the fucking Grateful Dead. No, Jerry and I were good friends.
You were friends with Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, I used to pick him up at the airport when he flew into town in the 70s. It was a whole different ball game back then. There was no security.
Hold on. When did you join Hells Angels officially?
I started writing in 1966.
Yeah.
I officially came around in the mid-70s. So I had like 10 years.
So you were even making connections long before you were technically in the Hells Angels.
Yes. I was networking.
Just because you were a writer.
And don't compare me to Jeffrey Epstein.
Right. That's right. You're networking without the
with
rapey stuff.
Without the massage.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Just must be very clear on that. You don't want to be misheard. So you're just into biking, and because of that, and because of some of the people you run
It
with,
opened a lot of doors for me.
yeah, sex, drugs, and rock and roll kind of type deal.
That's why I joined.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, who wouldn't?
Yeah. How long were you in the Marines?
From 66 to 70, I can't remember, 70 or 71, I was in a Marine Reserve Rifle unit. And then I got in trouble, and I left the Marines. I went to work for the Department of Defense. And
you got in trouble and graduated up to the Department of Defense.
Well, I had a pretty good record with the Marines.
Until the end.
Until the I had a problem with a gunnery sergeant. And
what kind of problem?
well, he kept harassing me, and I challenged him to a duel. And
Under like the penal code of the state kind of thing, or
no, like gentlemen, a duel, a gentleman.
Yeah, but aren't there states that allow that? Like Texas allows that,
I
right?
don't think they do, but if they did, I should have took him to Texas.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to. He declined the challenge and turned me in. And
just for challenging him, though?
yeah.
You didn't like whip out a gun, did you?
Well, I had a rifle. We were on the rifle range.
Yeah, but did you whip it out and hold it to him?
Well, I held it to my side. I said, draw. So I don't know if that could
So
be
it didn't
considered.
come, like it didn't point
It didn't
in his
point at
direction.
it,
I'm
no.
trying to help you as a lawyer.
I know you are, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know, where were you all my life? You know,
Misunderstanding,
when I was getting
guess.
indicted.
Yeah. So you leave the Marines because
I
of
leave
that.
the Marines. I go to work for the Department of Defense.
How do you end up working for the Department of Defense after like
Well,
leaving the Marines under those
I
circumstances?
had some pretty high scores, and pretty good training. Did fairly well.
What did they want you to do at Department of Defense?
I had a top secret security clearance. I worked. It's a downrange missile range, but in the midst of everything, on Santa Cruz Island was a submarine surveillance system. We were in the Cold War with Russia at the time, and my job was to keep the phone service up. So if the Russian sub showed up, we would have a direct line to Washington, so we could get the okay for the commander to launch an attack. Serious stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah. And there was one in Santa Cruz Island, and there was one in Northern California. And I was kind of took over the one in Santa Cruz. I kept that maintained. And it was classified at the time. It's now declassified. You may be able to look it up. I don't know. You know.
How did you get recruited to that? Did someone call you and say like meet me at a hotel?
No.
What kind of deal was it?
Well, after I got court-martialed, the Navy intelligence guys showed up and said, would you be interested in working for the Department of Defense?
Lieutenant Aldo Raines, like, I respect your work.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, one of those kind of deals.
Yeah.
So, and then later in 1978, they found out I was leader of the Los Angeles Hells Angels. And they called me in the office and they said,
like it.
no, they said, look, are you really in the Hells Angels? And I said, yes, I am. They go, we thought you were joking about all that stuff. And I go, no, I'm in the Hells Angels. And they said, we're going to take your security clearance away because Hells Angels can't have a security clearance. And they said, you got to either quit the Hells Angels or you're done here. And so I left. I quit.
All right, I have a thought, but I want to wait on it because I want to clear this up. So how many years were you doing your classified work there?
8 years.
8 years.
Yeah. 1978 was my last year.
But in the midst of it, you join a
The
biker
Hells
gang.
Angels. Yeah. We don't call them a gang. It's an
Biker club.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And your audience thanks you. At least the motorcycle part of it, contingency.
Right.
We've got
Again,
to
I'm holding the thought here, but
Okay, I know you are. And I'm going to remind you that you're holding the thought.
all right. So, obviously, you love motorcycles, you love riding, you like the rebel aspect of that. We talked about the guy that you kind of respected, like when you were 10 years old, and you kind of wanted to be that. That all makes sense. But like, did you know what the Hells Angels fully was when you went to join? Meaning, like, did you look at this and go,
I thought it was riding and partying and brotherhood.
did you?
And it turned out
was
to
there
be-
a C there though too, like criminals? Did you
No,
know they were
no.
criminals?
Don't confuse outlaws with criminals or criminals with outlaws.
That sounds like don't confuse like water and wetness. Like, you know.
Look, sometimes criminals, are originally start out as outlaws and they become criminals. I can always consider myself an outlaw. I had no interest in, it's. Would you be surprised if I told you I never voted?
No.
I never voted.
You're a rebel. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. They even wrote a song about me.
So I'm not trying to get like too technical.
No, go ahead and get technical as you want.
But like,
and be candid. Just say what you want.
The definition.
You're full of shit, George.
There's a part of me going, you kind of are with that definition, because the literal definition of outlaw is a person who has broken the law, especially one who remains at large or is a fugitive.
Right.
Isn't that?
Well, I mean, little here, a little there. I mean, that's my interpretation. I mean, I'm an outlaw. I can interpret it any way I want, right?
So outlaws don't go to prison.
Do you
criminals
think?
Do.
Well, yeah, they can. Don't confuse the criminal and the outlaw. There's a difference, but sometimes outlaws are pushed to criminal behavior. They've got to survive. Do you think Einstein was an outlaw? A lot of people sure thought he was a wingnut.
I would have never. I'm like kind of wondering if that's a trick question.
No, it's not a trick question.
I would have never.
I'm asking you in earnest.
Yeah, I mean, personally, no. Maybe I'd have to like think about his life more. I don't think he was an outlaw. I think he was a. I do think he was a scientific rebel for sure. Okay. I think a lot of the great scientists are scientific rebels, but I think there's a difference. Like, I'm a rebel guy. Right?
Look, I'll concede. I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And there's really validity, and I know there's a lot of people out there going, "This guy's full of shit." You know what? That's the way I lived my life. Mm-hmm. I lived my life, live and let live type of situation. I worked for the government. Had a good job.
Interesting.
When I lost my job at the government, I put food on my table for my family any way I could. And my thought was, hey, you know what? I was here. I was doing a job. I didn't have one write-up. In all those years I worked for the feds, never got in trouble, never got reprimanded for anything.
Did you like what you did?
Yeah, I was good at it. Never got accused of anything. And they want to cast me out. Hey, that's cool. But don't judge me for how I take care of my family. I wasn't going to be like my father digging through dust balls on the floorboard of my car. And
I got it.
Okay. And if I had to break the law doing it, I'm not conceding that I ever did. Hey, you know what? Cops investigated me inside and out. And I'll tell you, I can honestly tell you, I can look you in the eye and say, they never got me for anything I ever did. I went to jail 3 times for things I didn't do. But what happened was I got put in the situation by people that were trying to extract themselves from the problems they created for themselves. I never asked anybody, hey, go firebomb that tattoo shop. In fact, I told them, oh, you're smiling now.
You suggested it.
Yeah. No, I did not suggest it. I told them, do not do it. And some of the informants even said, no, Christie said, don't, I said it in a meeting. I go, I think you guys should leave those tattoo shops alone. There were 2 tattoo shops in town that kind of just sprung up and basically said, fuck the Hells Angels. We're going to do what we want. And when I got arrested in 1986, I didn't go to anybody. The feds came to me. They came to my clubhouse.
Yeah, they tried to entrap you.
They tried to entrap me.
Yeah.
And
you're right about the recorded calls and shit. The games they play with that is fucking insane.
It is insane. Yeah. And, look, do I think there's good cops out there? Absolutely. Yes. When I was in Spain, I was living in Spain when I heard this big defund the police. That was the most ludicrous thing I ever heard in my life. I'm in Spain. The people in Spain are going, what's going on over there? I go, I don't know. I don't live there anymore.
They're like, we need more cops.
Yeah. And, I mean, come on. Can you imagine a society with no structured law enforcement?
It's crazy.
It'd be chaos, Yeah. I mean, unless you had a Hell's Angel charter in that town to take care of everything.
Right. That would have.
Yeah. You're with me on that?
Maybe. I don't know. You
Yeah,
convince
maybe.
me. We'll see.
Think about it. Yeah.
Were you, as someone who was in the Marines, though, and then years in the Department of Defense doing things at a high level in the midst, like you said, of the Cold War, like, what was your relationship with your idea of America? Your parents had immigrated here. You got to grow up here. You got to make some opportunities for yourself here. And then you paid it forward, like you joined the Marines.
Right.
You know, you served in the military. You serve in the Department of Defense. Would you describe yourself as someone who was like patriotic?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel I'm a patriot. I think for my encounters with law enforcement, for the things that transpired, I think I could be a lot more jaded and be and have a position. Yeah, of course, this happened to me, that happened to me, but I don't do that. I don't cry about anything that happened. There's a guy that infiltrated the Hells Angels, Jay Dobbins. Have you ever heard of him?
I have heard of. I'm trying to think of Alessi. One of my guys talked to him one time. We haven't had him on.
He really made the circuit for a while. He had a book, No Angel, and look, that was his job. His job was to come and infiltrate the Hells Angels.
Did he do? Am I mixing this up? Did he do something with Fast and Furious too, like Operation? What was it? Is that what it's called? The gun running operation with the cartels?
He was with that.
About?
He's a gun runner. That's how he started out.
Yeah.
Look, look Jay Dobbins up, and I'll tell you what put me off to Jay Dobbins is he went undercover, and the thing that put me off to Jay Dobbins is he had his shit together too good. He just had his shit together too good. He was too tight. You know, a lot of guys come around the Hells Angels. You know, they don't unless they have a military background. You know, you have to kind of control them. You have to push them. You have to stay on them. You know, keep your bike running. They're outlaw type guys. They're guys that don't want responsibility. You know, they'd rather chase women, snort drugs, get high, and not work. You know, they're not motivated in that sense. The guys that come around like Jay Dobbins made some major mistakes. Jay Dobbins was trying to get in the Hells Angels in Arizona. He staged a murder. You familiar with that? Took pictures of it.
I don't think so, no.
He took pictures of a murdered enemy of the Hells Angels. He created it. Jay Dobbins maybe put murder picture in there or something. And he was passing that picture around, and they brought the picture to me. As soon as I saw the picture, I go, this guy's no good, man. Who kills somebody and takes a picture of it?
Yeah.
Nobody. Did you find anything?
I haven't found that yet, but I see what you're saying. There's just something. There was something that was off there. Were you always looking for people?
Always, constantly. You know, over the years, you know, been approached by several informants, and I wrote a book, and recently I just released it, Crossing the Rubicon, and in it, as to go through the chapters. One of the chapters entitled Informant Number 1, Informant Number 2, Informant Number 3. These guys came like in a flood. You know, it was the feds, man. They had their sights on me. When the feds get their sights on you and they don't like you, you know, they get you. You know.
Now there were other organizations. Think of like the really bad ones, right? Like the cartels or the mafia or something like that, where if they catch an informant, you never see him again.
Yeah, they get rid of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what was your plan if you catch an informant? Just kick him out?
I have I play off of their energy. I'm a martial artist, so.
Okay. Can you explain that?
Well, you know, if you attack me, I'm not going to come with a specific attack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to respond to how you attack me, right?
But keep them alive in the process.
Well, I'm not saying that. Look, I know you want a provocative answer, but
I don't.
You don't.
I'm not looking for anything.
Okay. Look, what happens to these guys happens to these guys. He's a police officer. He took an oath. He came after the Hells Angels. He went undercover. He knew the risk, but he got away with it. He was good enough to get away with it.
Yeah.
But has anybody in law enforcement tried to infiltrate the Outlaw Motorcycle Club and wound up dead? No.
Did he? So with Jay Dobbins, though, because you kind of knew, like,
I had a feeling. I mean, who takes a picture of
Right.
somebody they said they killed?
So meaning,
I'm taking this picture to verify I killed this guy.
so you kept him at a distance.
Wait a minute, Jay, you
after
didn't
that.
sign it.
You kept him at a distance.
Absolutely, I
after
kept
that.
him at a distance.
And
yeah.
then when it was later revealed because he left on his own accord and
Right.
got out, you're like,
Yeah, well, they
okay,
pulled him
duh.
out.
Right, exactly.
And you know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
happened? Well,
No,
no, you don't know
I
what
don't.
happened. They started having inner conflicts within the ATF. There was jealousies and this going on and that going on. I'll tell you what I think happened. I think one of the superiors got jealous of Jay's involvement, and so he was so deep, he didn't want to come out. He was on the cusp of getting voted in the club. And, there's controversy within the club even. Did he get voted in? Did he not get voted in? They pulled him out. And I think there was some jealousy going on within the organization of the ATF. Personally, he's an outcast now. He's like a man with no island.
I don't know him personally. Like I said, we haven't had him on. I'm not familiar with his entire story, like all the details, but I know the basis.
He believes, and now Jay and I are friends, but he believes everything he says. And everything he says, the Hells Angels are all about crime. The Hells Angels is not a criminal organization. The Hells Angels is an organization with criminals in it.
With criminals in it.
Yeah, that's how I describe the Hells Angels.
But you don't describe yourself as a criminal.
No, I'm an outlaw.
You're an outlaw.
Yes.
So
with
when
a,
you
with
would
a criminal record. I'm being honest with you.
No, I appreciate it. But like when you would see, because you have all these different guys joining, and maybe let's say 10 guys are joining, and you're like, okay, outlaw, criminal. Outlaw. You don't go like, all right, leave. You're like, well, he can come in too.
He can come in, just don't get us involved in your shit.
Don't get us involved in your shit.
And
so keep that separate.
If you get in trouble, don't ask us for money.
So you're like Brando in The Godfather, where he's like, no drugs.
Well, yeah, but I think his cheeks were whiter than mine.
They were definitely, he had
he had implants in them.
Yeah, he had some implants in there. But same deal. You're like, it's an informant.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So would it be fair to say, though, if you knew like some criminals are coming in?
See, now you sound like a U.S. attorney. Would it be fair to say?
A little bit. Yeah. I mean,
was there a time?
I'm trying not to, but I'm also trying to like.
Come on, let me have it, man. I was on the stand 6 days in my first trial.
Listen, when I do podcasts like this with someone like after the fact, this ain't a journalistic capacity. This is a fun capacity.
And let me tell you something. What am I going to? I already did my time.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's all over.
The judicial system in the United States is weights and measures, right? I paid my fee, man.
Exactly.
I'm even. I went and did a lecture one time for a corporation, and there were some people in there looking down their nose at me. And this guy's a felon. This guy's been to prison. And I said, "You believe in America? If you believe in America, the judicial system." And now I sound like the Godfather.
Yeah, I believe in America.
I said the judicial system is weights and measures, and I said, and I'm even, man.
You're right.
I don't owe nobody nothing.
Any debts you had are paid.
Judge Wu said, "This is what you owe, George," and I not only gave my time. Stop and think about this. 2007, a crime takes place. Then an investigation takes place. 2007. So we go to 2011. I get indicted in 2011 for a 2007 crime. Statute of limitations is just about to blow out of it. Okay, now in 2013, I go to prison. Late 2014, I come back. And now I'm on parole or probation, whatever you want to call it, till 2018.
Oh, that's a long one. Yeah.
What's that, 11-year span?
Yeah.
I mean, so,
they come after you.
Yeah, and I paid my price, and I didn't whine about it. I may have complained to myself at night before I fell asleep, bastards, but I never publicly will cry about it, never whine about it,
That's the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I know the game, and they came after me. And hey, Judge Wu said it all. God only knows what you got away with, George.
When I was making the point though about like outlaw criminal,
I know what you were doing.
What I'm saying is,
and that's a valid point. That's a good argument. You're a good debater.
Well,
if we were debating, but I'm not debating.
I'm not even debating, and I'm saying if you let them in, knowing they're a criminal, I think you said it yourself. You're like, just don't bring it here.
Yeah, don't bring us. Don't bring it up in the meeting. If you bring up criminal activity in a meeting, there's a possibility you get your ass kicked and thrown out on the street.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So there was a separation of things there that the general public or, through what they hear from prosecutors and stuff like that would have associated with Hell's Angels that in your mind, you're like, we never did that. If we had Tommy over there who was dealing blow in a club, that's his problem. It's not mine. I'm not making money on what he's doing, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
Got it.
And
what is the money structure, though, with Hell's Angels? Like, how do you
pay dues?
You were chapter leaders.
You pay dues. The chapter leaders do not get anything. You don't make any money.
You don't make any money?
Nothing. No. It's
because you had a bunch of businesses too.
Yeah. I had a bail bonds company, I had a concert promotion business, had a T-shirt business, had a martial arts school.
Tattoo shop.
I had a tattoo shop. I had a martial arts store. Let me see, what else did I have? I was an administrator for my daughter's law office.
You were an administrator.
I was the administrator of my daughter's law office.
At the criminal defense law office.
Yeah, I used to love it because I would call cops up and go, yeah, I'm George Christie from Christie and Associates. We need the paperwork on that.
I need discovery on my murder case.
Exactly. And they took exception to that. They raided the law office.
Oh my God.
So I do have a sense of humor.
Yes. No, you got a great sense of humor. I appreciate that.
And look, you were asking about what do people do in the club? Everybody's got a different variety. Now, Tony Tate wants to set up. I remember I mentioned him earlier.
The guy in Alaska who turned for money.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So he comes into a meeting. And he's recording the meeting. He's got a cast on. He's got a bug in the cast. And he's sitting on my right side. And he's got the cast. And I'm looking at the cast. And yeah, that's how he's got it. He's got it over. So I said, what happened, Tony? He goes, I got in a bike wreck. And I looked at him and I go, man, you're a lucky guy. And he goes, I'm fucking with him, He goes, what do you mean I'm a lucky guy? And I go, you don't have any road rash. You went down on your bike and you have no road rash. I go, you're extremely lucky, man. And I'm being facetious and sarcastic. He's picking up on it, and he's trying to get me to give him the green light in a meeting with like 14 or 15 Hell's Angel presidents in there to go blow up the Outlaws Motorcycle Club members in Kentucky because they killed a member named Webb. They killed one of our guys. So it's retaliation.
They killed one of your guys.
One of our guys, yeah. They killed a Hell's Angel. I can't think of his first name. His last name was Webb. They killed him in Kentucky. Mm. So Tony Tate takes that opportunity, and the FBI takes that opportunity. So they go, let's go to Sonny Barger. Let's go to Irish O'Farrell, and let's go to George Christie, and let's get permission to blow up the Outlaws. Now, mind you, the investigation that Tony Tate's conducting, this is the tail end of the investigation. Tony Tate has already set up Kenny Owens, Chico Menestrone, I can't remember how to pronounce his name, and a couple other members. Kenny Owens and Chico are heavy players in the drug business. They're cookers, like when they
like meth.
Yeah, they're cookers. Now, I was on 60 Minutes with Mike Wallace, and Mike Wallace's exact words were, "I know you guys. The Fed said you're knee deep in the narcotics business. If that was true, Tony Tate's undercover. He can only, the Hells Angels allegedly control the methamphetamine market across the United States. So he can find, he gets, all he can catch are 2 guys out of the whole club, Chico and Kenny.
Yeah, how many people do you have in the club in the U.S. at the time?
Well,
thousands.
Yeah, well, hundreds. I wouldn't say thousands, maybe over 1,000.
Right.
And that's what he comes up with. So that's the tail end of the narcotics end of the investigation. So then they go, okay, now we're going to get these guys, going to get them to conspire to murder the outlaws. So, you know, I said, look, man, and I'm going to tell you a little morality story here as well, okay? So I'm thinking, I'm a 100% Hell's Angel. I'm ready to do whatever it takes, rise to any occasion that I think is necessary. Tony Tate could have went to the outlaws and blew them up if he really wanted to. We're already at war with the outlaws. Why does he need permission from somebody to go fight the outlaws, to go blow up the outlaws? If this guy Webb and him were so tight and they were such close club brothers and he wants to take revenge, why doesn't he just go blow the outlaws up? He doesn't need my permission.
Yeah, he doesn't need to go to you or something.
No, he doesn't need to go to Sonny. We're already at war. We've been at war with these guys since 1974. It's now 1988, I think, 89 almost. He could have went on his own and blew those guys up. So he comes to me. I shoot him down, shut him down. I said, I don't want to send any more people to a graveyard. I don't want to send any more people to prison. And I said, I don't want to fight with the outlaws. I want to mend the fence with the outlaws. My goal is to get an amnesty with the outlaws, the banditos, and the Mongols. I don't want to fight these guys no more. So what does he do? He packs up. He goes out of the meeting. He goes out to the car with the FBI agents, and they cut the cast off, take the bug out of the cast, and it's going to give you a time frame. They insert the bug in a new device that's just come out on the market called a beeper. I'm giving you some time frame here. So he goes over to Sonny's house, and he's got this beeper. And, of course, he tells Sonny this stuff's all on tape. Tells Sonny, yeah, this is my beeper for work, I'm on call. They need me to explain shit to him. So he's talking to Sonny. The feds are listening. They're out in the van down the street. Sonny's not saying what he needs to say. So Tony gets a page. Who's the page from? It's from his FBI handlers. They're saying, you got to get Sonny to say this. And he goes, okay. And, hangs up the phone and tells Sonny, I really want to blow these guys up. I want to use a lot of explosives. I'm worried there's going to be innocent bystanders hurt. And, Sonny goes, fuck them, They shouldn't hang around with the outlaws. And Sonny gets beef. Does 5 years for that conversation. So you got one conversation with 2 outcomes. The same conversation he has with me and Sonny. Sonny goes to prison for 5 years. I stay back and basically I build my power base while Sonny's in prison.
What?
And Sonny also refers publicly to Tony Tate as everyone. I want people. By then, Sonny and I were at odds with each other, and he was jealous, and he didn't like that I didn't agree with him on things, and he introduced Tony Tate to the club when he made West Coast Sergeant at Arms. Tony Tate is the future of the Hells Angels. This is the future member of
the guy who was a rat.
Yeah.
That's not a great look.
No, it's not a great look for Sonny as a leader, and that's something for the club to brew about for the next 5 years till Sonny comes back and explains himself.
So there's such an interesting moral quandary with something like that, and this isn't you. This is Sonny saying these things. So let's point that out. But how do I explain this? When I have someone sitting across from me, like I have in the past, who was in the mafia, right?
Are they admitted murderers, killers?
Admitted is a strong word,
yeah.
But let's just say that they've been on that end of things.
You suspect it
for sure,
yeah.
For sure. Murder is all bad, to be very clear. I don't want to be misheard here, but I'd be lying to you if I told you I viewed them the same as I view a guy who killed his wife. And what I mean by that is they knew the life they signed up for. The other people who are in that life,
there it is right there,
signed up for it as well. Again, it's against the law and everything, but like when they do it to each other, not condoning it, not saying it's good. It is
what it
different.
is.
It's different.
Yeah.
It is different.
Yeah, I agree.
When Sonny says, as a leader, he was the number one. When Sonny says something, though, like, and again, he's like getting entrapped here, so that's not great. But nonetheless, he says something like, all right, yeah, if you're going to hit the outlaws who are in this life, cool. And then when he's asked about innocent bystanders or something like that, he's like, well, fuck them. If they're around them, then that's their problem. Doesn't that kind of step over the bound of like who's in this life and who's not?
Well, I think that's an argument you could have. Of course, you could also, I had a situation with two bike clubs hanging out with each other. We were at war with one club, and the other club was hanging out with them, and I went to them as a friendly reminder, we're at war with these guys. And if you guys are there and there's any collateral issues, you're just going to have to eat it, man.
Yeah. I also think that's a little different, though, too.
Yeah, and you're right. It is. But, I mean, look, it wasn't a secret that the Hells Angels, and I think Sonny was wrong. I always thought a lot of things Sonny did was wrong. And it's ironic I'm sitting here and I'm going to defend him now. But, people knew about the war with the outlaws. I mean, the stuff was so publicized. There was an outlaw that was given a gift motorcycle tank. It had a beautiful Sportster tank with the outlaw emblem on it, and he saw it outside. He thought it was a birthday gift. He picked it up, and it blew his arms off, man. It was do you know that story?
I knew where it was going.
Yeah, it was a bomb,
Yeah.
So it was, some terrible mistakes were made in that war. We've got a member that went to kill somebody, killed the wrong guy. I mean, this is the shit that happens when, this is one of the reasons. I don't know if you know I don't know how well you know my history. I petitioned for peace for over a decade.
What do you mean petition for peace?
With other bike clubs. I met on my own, unannounced. I went to the outlaws. I could have gotten killed, perhaps. I was a young man. I felt invincible. I went there and I said, "Hey, man, we got to end this thing." And Taco Bowman was their boss, and Taco and I developed a friendship. Reserve friendship. Later, he had an assassination hit team come to Ventura to kill me, which he was unsuccessful. But shit, and that's, if people look up USA versus Harry Taco Bowman, you'll see in there he had two individuals he targeted. He was either going to kill Sonny Barger or George Christie. And what happened was they finally decided they'd kill me. I don't know if that was because they thought I was more powerful than Sonny, or if they thought I was less powerful than Sonny. There was never an explanation. But
psychologically, it's just so interesting, like how you.
You want to hear the ironic thing?
What's the ironic thing?
Okay, he got convicted for racketeering. He was on the FBI's 10 most wanted list. If you look him up, look Harry Taco Bowman. His picture's on there. Yeah, FBI most wanted list. He was on the run. Did you see it?
Yeah, he died in 2019.
Yep.
That sound right?
That's him.
Here he is.
There's Harry Taco Bowman.
Looks like a real straight shooter.
Yeah, he's quite a guy.
He died at Federal
prison.
Butner.
Yeah, they.
Isn't that where Scarfo was?
Probably. He tried to get a compassionate leave. He had cancer, and they said, "Fuck you, you're gonna die in prison." But anyways, in 2002. He's watching my case out here, my racketeering case, and because he had a racketeering case. His was federal, mine was state. But he calls me on the phone one afternoon, and get a collect call from Harry Bowman in a United States penitentiary. So I accept the call, and Taco and I are talking. He goes, "Yeah, how you doing, George?" And I go, I'm doing better than you, man. And we're kind of going back and forth. And he goes, I just wanted you to know, that wasn't personal. That was just business. And I said, well, I know that, and, what prompted him to do it was there was an up and coming guy in the Outlaws named Spike that was challenging Taco for his position. So, Taco had to prove that he still had it. So he was going to kill his friend, George Christie, I guess.
It's,
but I'm not done yet. But go ahead.
Please.
Let me have your question, and then
it just,
I'll pick it up.
What's striking me the whole way, I've been holding this one in throughout the way you're explaining the full story. No, it's just like, you're interesting in that you come from this, kind of go make it Greek family. You're a rebel, but you go into the Marines, you work in the DoD, everybody likes you. You're a likable guy, you're nice to other people. You just enjoy biking and you enjoy that kind of culture, so you join the Hells Angels, and a lot of the time you're trying to make peace with these other gangs. Right. You're like, let's just go ride bikes and have fun.
Because that's what it was all about.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
But you're faced with all these other people.
Still participating.
Well, not even if you're participating. You're faced with all these other people who are objectively doing shit like this, including guys trying to send you hit teams after you.
The position of peace is very unpopular in the outlaw bike culture.
I can imagine. That's what I'm getting at.
They take that, they see that, and they take it as a sign of weakness. Just before Taco was arrested, him and I were talking on the phone one time. Him and I had 2 in-person meetings, a lot of phone calls. And he said to me, "Hey, George, what do you think about this peace thing?" And I said, "I think it's very unpopular." And he goes, "Jesus Christ." He goes, "I'm getting so much heat, man." And I said, "Peace is not a popular position in the culture we're in." I go, "We just got to fucking stand strong, man." And, for whatever reason, he decided, I'm going to have to kill George, even though I like the guy maybe. I don't know what his thoughts were. I'm being facetious now.
No, I understand.
But so he said it wasn't personal. And I knew it wasn't personal. I knew that Spike O'Neill had pushed him to the point. Spike O'Neill's also doing life in prison. I don't think he'll ever get out. So Taco said, it wasn't personal, George. And he goes, I want to ask a favor of you. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, a felony favor? And he goes, I know you beat that case. He goes, I know you beat that case in the 80s, and then you beat this one. He goes, would your daughter help my lawyer with my appeal? And I said, well, who's your lawyer? He says, Henry Gonzalez. He's a famous lawyer in Florida at the time. I don't even know if he's practicing now. And I said, sure, why not? And so we chatted up for a little bit, and he's getting ready to hang up. We're ending the call. And I said, Taco, I got to ask you, man. I go, you're doing life on the racketeering, right? And he goes, yeah. And I go, and you're doing 10 years for trying to have me killed, right? He goes, yeah. And I go, what are you going to do first? You know what he told me. He told me, go get fucked. Go fuck yourself, George. And he laughed, it was, and I laughed. And that's the last time I talked to Taco. I'm in Spain. I get a phone call. Hey, Taco died, man. And would I have gone to his funeral if I would have been in the United States? I may have. I may have asked permission to go to his funeral.
This is what I mean. This is what I'm getting at. You're the guy who wanted peace,
right?
Provably throughout.
Yeah, it's absolutely. It's absolutely. The police will tell you this guy wanted peace. I risked my ass more than once.
And you would repeatedly be faced with some people in there who would want to do, or sometimes
my own people.
Yeah, your own people do some unsavory things and be against it.
Yeah.
And what it feels like to me is that you kind of had, and I don't know if I'm onto something at all here, but like going back to seeing that guy at 10 years old, you created this idyllic version of what a biker rebel was.
A romantic version.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah.
And so then when you were actually in it, and I mean, I don't mean this as like a shot. I mean this just like how it was. You like almost delusionally wanted to believe you could turn everyone to see it the same way you did.
And that's a very profound word, delusionally, because you're probably right.
Yeah.
I was blinded by my own ego, my thoughts. I can do this, man. I can make this. I was a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
You improvise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They drill it in your head. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I really thought that I would have the ability to reach these other bike club leaders. And, the first time I met, I'll tell you the first time I met Taco, I'm with Stairway Harry. He's the former international leader of the Outlaws. He mentored Taco. Stairway Harry, he's gone now too. So Stairway Harry and I are at Terre Haute Bike Prison visiting Hell's Angels. I mean, at Terre Haute Prison, there's a bike show there. We're visiting Hell's Angels and Outlaws. So at the end of the day, I'm there with Jim Nolan, an outlaw leader that's doing 50 years for starting the war. I'm there talking to him about the war and where it's going and what I'd like to do. There's other Hell's Angels in there. There's outlaws in there. You can look it up, Terre Haute Bike Show, Hell's Angels Outlaws, and you probably see some pictures. And so Stairway says this really interesting thing to me. He said, "This, are you familiar with Sturgis? Sturgis Motorcycle Rally.
No.
Probably one of the biggest rallies in the United States. Well, the 50th anniversary was coming up in 91 or early 90s. So Stairway said to me, he goes, "Hey, George," he goes, "how would you feel about the Outlaws coming to Sturgis and celebrating the 50th? And I go, "Oh, that's an interesting request." And because we're fighting these guys, we're killing each other. And he goes, Taco's right down the road, man. And I felt like that was a oblique invitation to go see Taco if I had the balls. So I felt compelled to go down there by myself, because I was by myself. And I went down there and I start walking up to where the outlaws are. There's probably 20 outlaws out front. And then...
Do you feel any fear?
No, I have no fear.
No fear.
No fear. But I walk up there, and I think they think I'm another outlaw initially, because I got the vest on and I'm a far away. And then they get up and they see I've got death head pins on. We have our own pins that signify who we are. And they all start coming towards me, and they circle me, and they surround me. And the guy that's probably the boss, lower level boss than Taco, said, "What are you doing here, Mel?" And I said, "I come to see Taco." And he goes, "Does he know you're coming?" And I go, I don't think so. And he goes, "You're fucking crazy, man. Really?" And he goes, "Wait." He goes, "Go get Taco." So they go get Taco. I'm watching the corner, and this guy's just going, "Jesus Christ, George." Because, we're killing each other. So Taco comes around the corner, and this guy's got unbelievable control of these guys. The circle opens up, and there's still like a half circle. I'm here, and I'm still surrounded, but the circle opens up so Taco can see me. So I think I got to get some sort of control back. So I step out of the circle, and I go greet Taco, and I shake hands with him, and he goes, "What the fuck are you doing here?" I go, "I came to talk to you." And he goes, "What do you want?" I go, "I want to end this thing." I go, "Do you?" And he goes, "Well," I said, "Look, Taco, let me tell you something." I said, "You and I are cast from the same mold in a sense." I go, "If you were born in California, you'd have a Hell's Angel patch on your back." And I said, "If I was born in Detroit or Chicago, I'd have an outlaw patch on my back." I go, that's just the way it's geographical, man. It's not about outlaws. It's not about Hell's Angels. It's all geographics. And I said, "Look, I think I'm in the best club in the world." And I go, "You know what?" I go, "I know you think you're in the best club in the world." I go, "So what's the fucking problem?" I go, "I'm not telling you that I'm better than you." And will you concede that? He goes, I go, do you think you're the best club in the world? He goes, yeah. I go, well, I think I'm the best club in the world, but it doesn't affect you, man. This is my thought for me as a person. I said, but man, it'd be cool to ride back to Chicago or Detroit and hang out with you guys, man. I go, I see where you're coming from, you know? Now, let me tell you something. I think I hit a note with him, and I think I really made an impact on him, because I want to tell you something. In the old days, it was a very small culture, and you didn't see people. And if you saw somebody riding another chopper like you wanted to go talk to him. Now, this is a time when you couldn't go to a parts house and open the book. If you were riding a chopper, it's because you built that chopper and you made that chopper. And that's what I was all about. I was all about building them, riding them, and having a good time. It was a live and let live society. That's what it was all about. And I said, man, let's get back to the roots, you know. I said, I know that's what you guys were doing. And have you seen the movie The Bike Riders?
No, I've seen Wild One with Brando. That's
Okay.
the old one.
Watch The Bike Riders with Tom Hardy.
Wait, that's a Tom. I love Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
How do I not know that movie?
I don't know. You should. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I should be. I love Tom Hardy.
You'll probably get indicted over this.
Probably. You're killing me. Wait, this has Austin Butler and Tom
Yes.
Hardy?
Yes.
Oh, it's from 2023. That's why.
Yeah. And who's the director? I can't. This guy.
Jeff Nichols.
Yeah. This guy captured the essence, and I'll tell you what he really captured was the transition when the club went from a bunch of guys riding motorcycles for an organization that was going outside the parameters of what it was initially meant to be.
That's it.
And that's what this movie just captures it. Like people go, oh, that movie's slow, man. It sucked. No, that movie nailed it. And you know why the people didn't get it? Because they weren't there when it happened. They weren't part of that outlaw culture. They didn't see the transition. I saw the transition.
So you feel like when you joined, it was bikers.
It was all bikers,
and there were
man.
just transitions that happened.
Yes, and transitions happened, and power struggles happened. You know,
Even though a guy like Sonny had been in trouble before you joined it.
Do you know who Terry the Tramp is?
No.
Terry the Tramp. You ever seen Hell's Angels 69?
No.
Terry the Tramp kind of stole the show from Sonny in Hell's Angels 69. Terry the Tramp died from a hot shot. Somebody gave him a hot shot. He's got a little bit too popular. So that's the 70s. Read about the 70s. I write about the 70s in my new book. It was treacherous, man. You know, I can start naming people. Stork, Terry the Tramp, Gary Robles, Snake, Harry the Horse, Jesse Coon, Ray Glore. I mean, these are all murders, unsolved, suspected to be in-house killings is how law enforcement labels them. So I'm ashamed to say, it looks like, you know, we were doing the work for other people as well. And how does something get convoluted like that? You know?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. How do you lose sight of a vision? That's why I left, man. That's why I quit, you know.
When did you quit, 2011?
2011, I finally reached, it took me 2 years to quit. And you know why it took me 2 years to quit?
Why?
Because I didn't want to burst my bubble in my ego. It was all about my ego. I would no longer be George Christie, leader of the Hells Angels, man.
Is that when you?
And I'm being honest about it.
No, when you quit, are you viewed as like an outcast?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Sonny Barger right away said, "I knew that guy was never no good."
He was only here 43 years.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah. So what do you do? But it took me 2 years to do it. It took me 2 years to build up the nerve to do it. And I'll tell you, I'm sitting in my chair. I tell everybody I'm out. I take my patch off, fold it up, I put it on the table, and I get up. I stand up to walk to the threshold of that door. And I know once I cross that threshold, my life will never be the same. But I didn't know Sonny was going to be so vicious. I figured, he'd talk a little shit about me, but I didn't think, the feds told me there was a murder contract on me with my own club. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. Of course they tell you that.
What does that feel like, though? Like the literal physical walking out of a place that you've called home for decades, that you were the leader of, and, you know, for all the complications and everything within there, like something that you loved. And
it was a
just,
challenge.
Yeah, out of nowhere, you're
It was a challenge. I tell you, I'm walking out that door and I'm thinking, can I make it on my own? How tough am I really? Can I really do it on my own? You know, I mean, you know, people that are down on motorcycle clubs, they're always talking shit. Oh, you know, you guys gotta, you know, you gotta make wolf pack mentality. You guys gotta hang together because you're afraid. No, I've never been afraid of anything. You know, I used to run the streets in Los Angeles as a loner, man. I wasn't even in a club. I was hanging out with Hell's Angels, Satan's Slaves, question marks, hanging out with the losers in Monterey. You know, these were all outlaw bike clubs from that era, from the 60s and 70s. But it was a whole new experience for me. And is there life after the Hell's Angels? You know, my answer is yes. You know, there is. I know there's a lot of other Hell's Angels. I was banished from the club. The club was given strict orders: do not interact with this guy, because the punishment could be as much as being expelled from the club.
Just for texting with you or something.
Yeah, talking to me, texting with me, calling me.
That strike you as a little odd.
It strike me as fucking juvenile.
Right.
You know, I mean, if somebody wants to talk to me, let them. You know, why can't? What did you know? Was my question to Sonny was, what are you afraid of, man? What are you scared of?
Yeah, it's like, what do you have to hide?
Yeah,
that's where it gets to. All right, who in
you want me to tell you something else? Something
Please.
That's really ironic. In 2002, when I was getting sentenced for that 59 count, you know, they dropped all the charges. They dropped 57 counts. I pled guilty to taxes and a conspiracy charge. The Michael Bradbury wanted a 3-year gag order on me, that I couldn't talk to the media for 3 years. So Judge Clark, you know, he looked at Bradbury and said, "Are Mr. Christie's words so powerful you have to silence them?" And, you know, he said, "No, I'm not going to do that, man. I'm not taking away his First Amendment right. If Mr. Christie got something to say, he can say it, and he can deal with the consequences."
That's not surprising, though. I understand why the guy, as a prosecutor, would have like tried to ask for that, though, just because, and like,
do I blame him?
Yeah.
No, I don't blame him. Do I find it foolish? I mean, I think he made a fool of himself. And
yeah,
I think
the judge wasn't going to let it happen.
No, and the judge, I mean, the judge said, "Are Mr. Christie's words so powerful you have to silence him?" I mean, I thought that was a really profound statement.
But you can't deny you were very powerful at being an incredible player in the media after the 86 case.
Well, I learned how to control the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on the trademark board. I helped establish the trademark board in the Hells Angels, along with a gentleman named Flash, who him and I are at odds. He's still alive. He talks shit about me, and I talk shit about him. But, you know, he did a lot for the club over the years. I can't take that away from him. I'd be lying. There's another gentleman, Irish O'Farrell. He got murdered. He was part of the trademark board. We had Limbach, and Sutton, some of the best trademark lawyers on the West Coast. Their clients were Levi Strauss, MasterCard, Coca-Cola, and the Hells Angels. So now it's humorous, but
that's awesome.
But listen, Mr. Sutton calls me up on the phone and says, "George, I got to talk to you." And I said, "Okay, let's talk." And he goes, "No, I need you to come up here, man. Or down, you know, I'm in Southern California. I need you to come up. I want to tell you face to face. It's really important." And so I take a plane. I go up there. He's telling me that Levi Strauss, Coca-Cola, and these other brands have found out they are now representing the Hells Angels, and they were given an ultimatum by these brands. They didn't want their brands brushing up against our brand, and he says, "We've got to let you go." And what he did was, you know, he goes, "I know you're a businessman, so I want to show you something." And he showed me the bill from Coca-Cola, Levi Strauss.
Yeah.
And then he showed me the bill for the Hells Angels, which he was hardly charging us anything. He was doing it as kind of a gag, you know. He thought it was cool. And he goes, I can't let these guys go, man. He goes, "I got to let the Hells Angels go." And I said,
understood that.
And I understood. I said, "Okay, Mr. Sutton, I get it." And some of his parting words were, "Remember, George, always control the narrative."
Yeah.
That's that's how you control and compete your brand. It's like I'm on the cusp of 80, and I've jumped into this world that you've probably been in a while. The YouTube, and I'm having a ball, man. I feel like I'm back doing it again.
Yeah, I think you're a veteran of this stuff.
And
you
the juice,
just doing it in a different medium.
Yeah, and the juice I get off of it, man. It's like, people would say, what do you miss the most? I miss the fucking juice, man. I miss the excitement.
Juice.
Yeah, the excitement, man.
So you're sitting with Mike Wallace. He's trying to pin all this shit on you.
I mean, I'm fucking with him.
Got you.
So I do my homework on Mike Wallace. So I go to do the 60-minute interview, and so I do some research. Now, back in those days, it was hard to do some research.
You had to go to the library.
There wasn't no friggin' computers around. So I find out Mike Wallace has just made a trip to Cuba. Well, I happen to know a lot about the Cuban Revolution. I'm fascinated by the Castro, Che Guevara, Raul Castro. So I know all about this. Mm-hmm. So I go down there, and we're getting ready to start filming. We're going to do like half hour. You wind up on 60 minutes, like 4 minutes or 5 minutes. But you know what it's like. You do a half hour. It's all these hard questions and tries to confuse you and shit. The Mike Wallace style. And so we're waiting around. And so we just got back from Cuba, Mike. And he goes, yeah, I did. And I go, what was it like? I go, what's Castro like, man? And he was like, oh, you want to know about Castro? And I go, yeah. And I go, come on, man. I go, anybody that thumbs their nose at the U.S. for 30 years, man, I go, you got to respect him, And he goes, yeah, I do respect him. And we start talking. And then I'm saving this little tidbit. It's my ammunition, how I'm going to control the narrative. I think I'm going to control the narrative till I get on the air with him. But anyways, I've got this little ammunition. I'm going to throw this grenade in there. So I said, so did he take you to see the hands?
The hands?
Yeah. When the CIA killed Che Guevara, they cut off his hands and they sent them to Castro. Mm. And Castro had the hands in a monument in a park. And so I said, did he take you to see the hands? And he looked at me. He goes, how do you know about the hands? And I go, oh, I know about the hands. I said, I know the whole story. I said, I know how Raul explored the Communist Party and became a communist so he could get weaponized from the Russians. And I go way off into this. So we go into the, I'm thinking, I got him, man. I want him on my side, and I'm thinking I'm going into this and I'm in a better position now. And you know what? I think I was in a better position. So he gets on there and just brutalizes us. It's me and Cisco Valderrama. And I had told Cisco, I go, I don't think you should go on this interview, man. I go, you've never done an interview for the TV or anything before. This is a different medium back then. Mm-hmm. I go, I don't think you're ready for it. I go, no disrespect, brother. I said, but I did all that torch stuff, and I said, it's hard to navigate through these questions. And he goes, you know what, man? He goes, I've been through tougher shit than that. He goes, fuck Mike Wallace. And I go, okay, man. So we go on the show, and Adam saw saw it yesterday.
Should have listened to George.
Yeah. He just creamed him, man. I mean, he come after me too, but I fared fairly well. So
he's also likable though too.
Yeah.
Like you have you're the kind of guy you start talking with.
You hate to kill me.
Yeah, this guy's fucking great. Come on.
I don't want to kill the guy. So I'm in the bathroom and I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm not going to the toilet. I'm sitting on the toilet snorting coke. And Mike Wallace and the producer, I remember the producer's name, only he was Tony was his name. And I remember they come into the bathroom, I pull my legs up, and I'm in there snorting coke. And so Tony says to Mike Wallace, he goes, what do you think, Mike? He goes, what do I think? He says, I'll tell you what I think. I think the feds, the informant, and the Hells Angels are all full of shit. All of them. He goes, but I tell you, I like the Hells Angels the best. And I'm like, yeah. Got him. And it's interesting. So the 60 Minutes episode shows here on the East Coast first. Mm-hmm. So I started getting the phone calls. And everybody's clowning Cisco. So that Tony, the producer, calls me. He says, the segment just aired. And I go, how did it go, man? And he goes, well, George, he goes, you look great. He goes, Cisco, not so good, man. And, Cisco wouldn't talk to me for 6 months. He blamed me for his failure on the show, man. That's the kind of, Cisco's an old school biker, man. It was fucking George's fault for not stopping him. I go, Cisco, I tried to stop you, man. Yeah, but you could have, he wouldn't talk to me. 6 months.
What did he really get hit on? Like the gotcha kind of stuff?
I don't know. What do you
There's
think?
a lot in there.
Oh, man.
Okay. I'll have to check that out.
He's just like,
tough day for
man.
him.
It was a tough day for Cisco. Oh, man, he nailed his ass. But, the lawyers started clowning Cisco, and I told the lawyers, you guys got to knock this off. I go, Cisco will fuck you guys up. He's a big dude, man. He's a scary dude,
Go
man.
beat up the lawyers.
And they go, why didn't you use the stage hook on him, George? I go, man. I go, don't say that shit to him. I go, he'll fuck you guys up, because these were the lawyers. They thought it was really funny, man. Because the lawyers, it was, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. 60-minute invitation. You don't go on the show. Mike Wallace gets on there.
To hide.
Yeah, George Christie was asked to come on the show, and he refused. But here's the show.
Right.
The Hells Angels control methamphetamine market, and I had some good arguments. He goes, well, I think one of the better arguments. I'm not sure people picked it up, but Mike Wallace says, well, they're not investigating the Kiwanis or the men's club and all this. I said, well, how do we know? We don't know. They could be investigating anybody. And they had some rules they claimed were club rules, and they were actually club rules, but what they didn't define it, and what it said was no drug burns. And what the guys were doing was they were riding over to Haight-Ashbury and putting oregano in joints and selling joints to the hippies that was oregano for $2 or whatever at the time. And so the
Good
hippies,
business.
So the hippies started complaining to the Grateful Dead, and the Grateful Dead complained to us, and we made a rule: you can't sell bum joints to the hippies.
No oregano.
Yeah, no oregano to the hippies. But
that's good. You got some morals. That's nice.
well, we try to fairness in business.
Yeah, fairness in business. Wait, you joined in 70? Did you say it was 75?
70, about 75 is when I really started coming around. I got officially voted in 76.
How does it work? Because you said you were running with them for a while before you officially joined, but is it like the mafia where they're like, we're going to make you?
Yeah, basically. Old man John says...
You go in there and cut your hand and say, I burn.
Well, I'd have to kill you if I told you that.
Okay.
No, they don't do it like that. But want me to tell you my experience?
Please.
Yeah. I'm standing outside, and I'm with all the other prospects, and old man John, opens the door of the clubhouse. The light, it's dark. The light shines out through the light. Through the door. John steps into the doorway, and the light vanishes. That's how big he is. Old man John. And old man John always had a cigar, like half smoked in his mouth. He even smoked it when he was riding the bike. He'd blow ashes in her eyes and shit. But he says, Christie, get your ass in here. Man, I know it's my time. I know I'm getting voted in the club. And I go in there, and there's probably, 20 Hells Angels lined in the room. And everybody's watching me. And John just goes, so you want to be part of this? At first I was so excited I couldn't even get it out to say yes. And I finally kind of a broken yes, And he goes, are you sure? And I said, yeah. And he goes, from this point on, we will come first. We'll come before your wife, before your children, before your mother, before your father. We call you, you come. Drop everything else.
And you didn't have any hesitation when they said that?
Man, I was so, I was like the spider to the moth to the flame, man. I had to have that patch. I could taste it.
That's such a wild request, though, for any organization. Don't care what it is. We come before your wife and your kids. How long had you been married at that point?
Yeah, but 10 years. But coming from the Marines ask you the same thing, right?
Do they ask it that blatant?
Well, they don't do it like that. But what the hell are you doing?
Right.
Hey, here's your orders. You're going to Okinawa tomorrow.
Right.
Well, I don't want to go. I got a date with my wife. What do you think they're going to say?
Bring her.
I don't think so. But anyways, it's a good try. You know, you're pretty good yourself, you know, and thinking on your feet. But I'm saying no banana on that one. You know, they're not going to let her go. You know, it's basically the same thing. It's a little bit more defined. It's a little more refined. You're doing it for God and country. You know, here you're doing it for self-serving reasons. You're doing it for the Hells Angels organization, which you're about to dedicate your life to. Reflecting back, if I could go back to that moment in time, would I do it again? In a minute, man. I was in love with that culture and that lifestyle, man. I'm not embarrassed to say it, but I know there's some people out there going, "Fucking guy, man," you know. But it's the truth, man. I'm being honest with you. I wanted it so bad. I lived on my motorcycle. When I wasn't at work, I was on my motorcycle and I was out roaming the streets with Satan slaves, question marks, whoever they may be. I've got in my book, there's what comes around goes around. That's the name of the. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but it's about the question marks. And the question marks were kind of a real down outlaw. They were an organization that was kind of on their last leg. Dick Woods, their leader, had got stabbed in a fight with the Hessians and was partially paralyzed. And you know they were like the posse was right behind them, man. You know, it was like they were getting ready to get caught and hung, and you know they ultimately eliminated themselves. But I write this. I go back in time. As I'm going through the story. I go back in time and I start with a phone call. Hey, Sonny's going to die by morning or the next day. I get a phone call from one of the guys on the club and say, if you're going to rectify this issue with Sonny, you got to do it now because he's not going to last much longer. And so the book starts out with me getting up from bed, making a cup of coffee, drinking the coffee and deciding, am I going to call Sonny or not? And that's the premise of how the book starts out.
Did you?
No, I did not. And I'll tell you, I'm not going to tell you why. At the end of the book, I make a decision, and it's very specific. I lay it out just like I'm getting ready to go to court. I'm going to give my closing argument to the jury, and that's what it is. But in the book, I reflect back, and I think about, I talk about, imagine going to a party. The Satan slaves their clubhouse is going to be no more. It's the early 70s. I go to the Satan Slaves party. I ride down there with this guy Bandit, who later becomes a Hell's Angel with me. We go down to the Satan Slaves party, and it's just the Satan Slaves are like the sultans of San Fernando Valley, man. They control the valley, and people can say, oh, no, they didn't. Yes, they did. And anybody that says it's a goddamn liar or they weren't there, because I was there and I watched, and I was a kid. You know, I was in my early 20s, 22 maybe. I don't know what I was. So I'm at this party, and the helicopters are buzzing the party. The LAPD has shown up. And so what do the Satan slaves do? They get Coke bottles and they fire bottle rockets at the helicopter. And I'm not going to get too descriptive in it, but that's for me, that was one of the highlights. People say, what's the best party you ever went to? That was the best.
Bottle rockets at the helicopters.
Helicopters, yeah. And the most prudent thing, perhaps not, but we're outlaws, man.
Outlaws?
Yeah, not criminals.
Not criminals.
Well, we could have been if we would have hit the helicopter. We would have.
Oh, so they missed. They had really bad aim.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how far is a
what's the law, like criminal intent?
Yeah, it could be criminal intent,
right.
But back then, laws were different, man.
They were different.
We had one of the guys. We got caught with 2,000 pounds of dynamite in a garage, British anti-tank weapon.
Real airtime international over here.
Oh yeah, well, everybody got a fair share. Machine guns, handguns with silencers. We had a lathe in there. And we called it the armory. And we would go in there and work and build bombs and whatnot,
Just for fun.
Yeah, for fun.
Go blow them up in an open field.
But let me, mostly.
Yeah.
But listen to this. So one of the guys in the club becomes an informant. He gets busted. He knows about the armory. Now, he tells the guys, hey, I got word. Cops are getting onto the armory. You need to go down there, unload it, and take it to a new place. I don't care where you take it. Just take it to a new place. Get it out of there. Just even a temporary place. So they go down to the armory. They stick the lock in the key in the lock, and the fucking cops just swarm everybody. But there's an interesting dilemma for law enforcement. What do you think that is?
I don't know.
They emptied the garage for public safety. So the guys
Nothing in there.
entered an empty garage.
Oh my God.
So we got this hotshot young lawyer goes, there's nothing in there. So, what happens? They drop all the charges on everybody. One guy pleads to possession of a machine gun and gets probation.
Yeah. It's not too bad.
No, it's not bad.
Right.
2,000 pounds of dynamite, man.
Yeah, down to a probation for a gun.
Yeah,
Take that deal.
And what happens to the guy that sent the guys down there? He gets murdered, man. Somebody shoots him in the head. Who shoots him in the head? It's unsolved. Nobody knows who shot him in the head. But
maybe you'll crack the case someday.
well, it is a cold case. I don't
put detective.
Yeah, well, I'm more of a storyteller than a detective. But in my book, I do a lot of speculation on some of the things like Irish's murder, Terry the Tramp.
Terry, the names are awesome.
Yeah, Terry
the names
Tramp.
are awesome.
You got to take
Terry the Tramp.
You got to look at Terry. Look up Terry, man.
Terry the Tramp.
You look at Terry, man. Hunter
come with
Thompson
a
loved
stamp?
him, man. Terry the Tramp, man.
He looks like a good time.
There's Terry.
I
the
feel
Tramp.
like he's owning the stage.
Yeah, Terry the Tramp, man. Now
There he is.
see the guy to the right with
Actor.
the girl. Terry the Tramp. See the guy to the right with right there. Okay,
John Terrence Tracy.
that's Terry the Tramp. John Terrence Tracy. That's Junkie George. Did you read Hunter Thompson's book Hell's Angels?
No, but I'm familiar with the book.
Okay, there's Tramp.
I actually just talked to someone today who read it.
There's Tramp. Now, Sonny took exception that he was getting all the publicity. They were going, "Who's this Terry the Tramp guy? Man? He's pretty cool." That's Terry, man.
He does look like the life of the party.
He is the
For
life of
sure.
the party.
Wow.
So the other guy that I showed you a picture of, that guy to the right, that's Junkie George.
Junkie George.
At the end of Hunter Thompson's book, and I think Hunter Thompson set us up as a club.
Set you up.
And I'll tell you how. He needed an ending for his book. He's got a book. You ever read Hell's Angels?
No, one of my friends today texted me because I said you were coming in, and he was like, dude, I just read Hunter S. Thompson's book, Hell's Angels.
What did he say about it?
He's like, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking unbelievable. It's Sonny and I used to fight about that. Sonny said it was a piece of shit, And I go, no, it's a fucking work of art, man. And I go, you got duped. I go, you thought Hunter was coming around to join the club. Hunter came around to write a book, and he told you, Sonny, in the beginning. And I go, how can you be mad at him? You can't be mad at him, man. But that guy, Junkie George, and that woman were at Bass Lake, and they were arguing. And Junkie George backhanded her. Her dog attacked Junkie George.
Karma.
Junkie George kicked the dog. Hunter Thompson looks at Junkie George and says, only punks and bitches hit women and kick dogs. And Junkie George says, you want some of this, motherfucker? And Hunter says, yeah, or whatever. And Junkie George kicks his ass, beats the shit out of him. Sonny stops it. Hunter goes over to his car and jumps in his car now and takes off. who's in the back of his car sleeping. I can't remember. It's either Terry the Tramp or Magoo. I think it's Terry the Tramp in the back sleeping. And that's how the book ends. Terry the Tramp wakes up and goes,
"Where the fuck are
what
we?"
happened, man? And he goes, I got jumped. And he goes, let me out, man. Let me at him. And he Terry the Tramp jumps out of the car, and Hunter drives off into the night. And now the whole book, he's talking about misunderstood patriots, just guys looking for a good time. At the end of the book, it's these motherfuckers. The citizens are right. These guys are animals. They all should be locked up. It's just it's a satire, man.
Yeah.
And he's brilliant because he created the ending.
Yeah.
He had no ending. He had a great book, but he had no ending. How do you end the book like that?
He's part of the story.
You get the shit kicked out of you, and then you realize these guys are no good. Wow. They're animals. And that's how the book ends. But your friend liked it, huh?
He loved it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite books, man.
Yeah, he was like really just. I invited him to come over tonight, and he's like, "Oh fuck." He had a real estate show. He's a real estate agent, so he had a showing at like 7:30. He's like, I can't do it. But he was like,
he should have showed. I perhaps would have bought that house with my $35 million. I have.
I told you should have shown up. Is that $35 million buried in the backyard?
Well, that's what the law enforcement says, and
right.
That
you buried some. Right?
I may have, but I don't remember.
It's Patagonia. It's not sure.
Yeah, well, they're from Ventura. You know that.
That's right. I didn't know that.
You didn't? He just gave away his fortune.
The founder of Patagonia.
Yeah.
No, he's cool.
Yeah.
That guy's really, really
he
cool.
lives in Ventura. I tried to get him to come on my YouTube channel. And,
we got to get him on. Come on.
Yeah, I'm trying.
He doesn't want to talk with a Hell's Angel.
He's not doing any interviews right now. You ever heard of black flies? Remember black flies? They were sunglasses and snowboard equipment.
No, I'm not like a big snowboarder.
Okay, I started wearing this stuff because leather ain't worth a shit on a motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah,
leather's cold. So I got a phone call from the Wall Street Journal, and they say, hey, we're doing a story on motorcycle leather and riding, and what's your input? What do you think about it? I go, fucking letters for squares, man. And he goes, what? What are you talking about? And I go, I wear Patagonia and black fly snowboard shit. And I go, oh, yeah, I wear mountain climbing. I layer, man. You got to layer.
You got to layer, for
and
sure.
He was like totally tripped out. So they did a big story in the Wall Street Journal, and they got me in there talking about Patagonia and black fly snowboard shit. So the black fly guys, they're like rolling it. This is in the late 80s, mid 90s. They're rolling, man.
Oh, this was a while ago.
Yeah.
You did that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's when I started wearing this stuff when he came to town.
That's cool.
So I get my first Patagonia vest like this.
Hell's Angels approved.
So I wear it probably 10 years, and the zipper breaks. They have a lifetime guarantee. So I take it back to Patagonia, and they send it to the factory to put a new zipper in and send it back to me, man.
Oh, that's so cool.
Is that, but...
Yeah. I remember he did a...
Yeah, check this out, man. I mean, this is probably not... But you put these on. You ever seen these on a shirt?
Oh, yeah, with the thumb. Yeah.
So you're riding your bike.
Yep.
Can't go nowhere, man.
Doesn't at all.
You put your gloves over it. In the old days, I used to wear gloves like up to here.
Yeah.
Gauntlet gloves, I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, what's that guy's name again? Patagonia founder.
I can't think of his name. It's a very odd name.
Yeah, it's a Yvon Chouinard.
Yeah, and he gave his fortune away.
Yeah, I think.
Did he save any?
I think I heard him.
Or did he bury it next to my fortune?
He might have buried it next to your fortune. But I think I heard him back in the day on a podcast, Guy Raz's podcast. I think it was called How I Built This or something like that.
Right.
I'm pretty sure. It was one of those podcasts or something, but his story is really amazing.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy.
Definitely built an amazing company.
So when you come to Ventura, I'm going to take you over to Patagonia Ironworks. And they've got a whole store there, and you walk through. And
sounds good to me.
You pick shit out, and they usually always give me a discount. And
if they give you a discount.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, he's coming in. Fuck.
What do we got to give him this time?
You walk in with your brass knuckles?
Well, the guy behind me has the brass knuckles on.
Good work, Adam.
Yeah. So, it's like, so, they It's on the internet. I got $35 million hidden somewhere. They seem, it's hard to find now. I don't know what happened. Now they say I only have $2 million hidden. But my ex-wife called me when she read it on the internet. She goes,
It's cash. You can't,
Yeah, she goes, I want to talk to you about the $35 million. Is there any truth to it? And I said, I thought we weren't talking.
Oh my God. Do you have a good relationship with her today? No, not at all?
No, not at all.
Still not?
No. And my 22-year-old son, she quit talking to him, man. He got a motorcycle. She got all upset about the motorcycle. She blamed me for the motorcycle. I told him not to get a motorcycle. He's like going to be a scientist. He's a mathematician.
So what's the issue with just having a motorcycle?
I don't know, man. What was the issue with me?
I mean, you joined the Hells Angels, but,
Well,
if he's a scientist, mathematician, he just wants a motorcycle.
Well, he could probably make a hell of a chemist.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh, did I say that?
I'm just saying. I wasn't saying he was going to go Walter White with it, but,
one of his favorite shows, Breaking Bad. I'm hoping at some point in
not
time.
imitating art, not imitating life,
Yeah,
as we should say.
You know what's funny is there was a crew of people in Southern California that had one of those vans.
Oh yeah,
They used to go out to
vans.
They used to go out to the desert, man, and make meth.
Yeah, fucking cash machines.
Yeah,
Right
they
there.
go out to the desert. So I'm going to get back to the story now. So when Tony Tate busted Kenny Owens and Chico, I had been in prison. I got the bust in '86. So I went to Kenny and I go, hey, Kenny, can you give me 10 grand? Can you loan me 10 grand? He goes, God damn it, George, I wish I had the money. I don't. When he got busted, he had $3 million in his wall and 30 pounds of crank.
They always do.
So when I see him 25 years later, I go, so you can explain the 30 pounds of crank and the $3 million in the wall? He goes, George, I just couldn't get to it. And that's what he told me, because I couldn't get to it, George. And we laughed at. I mean, this guy, Tony Tate set him up. This guy went did his time, comes home, gets cancer and dies within a couple of fucking years, man. I mean, it's just, and I'm going to tell you something, Tony Tate fancies himself a cop. And if you're out there and you're watching this, man, if you're watching this, Tony, you're a no good piece of shit. You're not a cop. You never were a cop. You set up your brothers and you betrayed them. You trusted, you depended on their trust in you, and you took advantage of them, man, because you didn't do anything to help society. It was a drop in the fucking bucket. Anyways, I always give him a message.
I understand. I want to give you that platform.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, man.
Be able to do that.
If I would have known that was the camera, I've been looking at it.
I'm directing over here.
You're a hell of a director.
No,
you're doing a lot of stuff, man.
I'm trying.
I'm impressed, and I'm trying not to look at you as you're.
No. It's
am I doing okay?
You're doing great. I did it for like 170 episodes where it was just me in here. So it's like a throwback when I do it.
You're not thinking about the stage hook for me like I should have done with Cisco. Okay.
No, we do this.
Are you going to watch the 60-minute thing?
I'm definitely going to. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course I'm watching that. I'm getting that link as soon as we get out of here. Yeah. But what's, like, this is, as you can see, this is just like, I like
we're just
with people, having a good time.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. It's just free
flowing.
And,
I'm gagging around a little bit, but you know what? I took my life very seriously as a Hell's Angel. I was 100% committed. I was ready to give my life and my freedom for it. And more than once it was on the line. Yeah. And, I think I proved myself. And, the ultimate outcome is you dedicate 43 years to an organization and then they ostracize you just because you don't agree with them anymore. I never went on I've still been an advocate for them,
Let me ask about that, though. Like, what do you... Because at the time you left, also you left under the circumstances of it was your final indictment, and this is 2011 when you left.
Yeah.
So you're going through that. You already laid out earlier what happened there. It took a couple years and all that. So you got a lot going on. You've put a lot of years in, and you're like, this is a headache for me.
Yeah.
At this point, and there's
and people no longer shared my vision as a leader. People were going, "Fuck those guys, let's fight them all."
Right.
know? And that's what the new guys were saying.
So you're kind of looking at the young Turks, if you will, and going, all right, this isn't really what I joined, so have at it, fellas.
I tried my best. I tried to resolve all these issues. You know, you guys are picking on it. Now they're picking on we're fighting the banditos. We're fighting the Mongols. We're fighting the outlaws. We're fighting the pagans. And now they want to pick a fight with the Vagos. The Vagos call me on the phone and go, "What the fuck's up, George? Why are these guys leaning on us?" And I knew the Vagos would not take it. I've known the Vagos. I've known them since the 60s, you know. They're not the organization that's going to take any shit off anybody. But if somebody doesn't want to fight you and you continue to push them,
right?
What does that make you?
You're the aggressor.
You're a bully.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know what? I knew the Vagos would not be bullied. And you know what? I gave this speech, and I also said in partying, I said, and you know, if you look at your history, what happens to cultures in their decline? They start turning on themselves.
Yes, every time.
And I said, look, eventually we're running out of people to fight. We're going to be fighting ourselves. I'd leave. I'm no longer in the club. I'm out bad. You know, people are talking shit about me behind my back, to my face. Not to my face because I'm not seeing anybody, but, you know, they're putting it out there on this new social media, you know.
The social media was now a part of the wars.
Yeah.
They're like posting on Facebook.
Oh, yeah. It's just, now I'm going to tell you a story when I get done telling you this. And then we can conclude if you want. If you've had enough of me.
No, this is, I am thoroughly entertained. You're not going anywhere.
So listen. Probably 3 or 4 weeks after I leave, they push on the Vagos one too many times. And they kill my friend Jeff Pettigrew, president of San Jose. They shoot him in a casino up in Reno, and he's dead now. They go to the funeral. 2 Hells Angels get in an argument at the funeral. One is accusing the other one of being responsible for Jethro's murder. You weren't watching his back. So what happens? Steve Thompson, probably one of the toughest guys in the club at that particular point in time, his reputation catches up to him. Steve Thompson has, if you look up the Pink Poodle murder, Steve Thompson knocked a guy out with one punch and killed him at the Pink Poodle in San Jose.
Good right hand.
So Steve Thompson has this fierce reputation. And
this guy?
That's the guy that killed him on the right. I don't see Steve up there anywhere.
Steve Thompson.
Put Steve Thompson on there.
Well, that's definitely not him.
No, I don't see him.
Okay.
It's got to be up there somewhere.
Steve. Yeah, they're trying to give me Steve Lawson.
No,
and that's
Thompson.
Not...
I don't know how to spell it exactly. Thompson. I always put Hell's Angel and it'll go right to him.
Hell's Angel. Here we go.
Pink Poodle. Did you mean the Pink Poodle?
Let me take out Pink Poodle and just do Steve Thompson,
There
Hell's
you go.
Angels. Well, that's you.
Well, there's George.
Okay. That's not him.
No.
That's Chuck Zito.
That's Chuck.
All right. Well,
Anyways.
Yeah.
He's got this fierce reputation. So he hits Steve Ruiz. Steve Thompson hits Steve Ruiz. Steve Ruiz falls on his back. He doesn't want to get his ass kicked in front of 7,000 people, or he's just fearful of Steve Thompson. He pulls his gun out and shoots Steve.
Oh, no.
And
At
kills
the
him.
funeral?
At the funeral. He kills him. So it's chaos, you can imagine.
Yeah.
So they go ahead and they bury Jethro. They cover him up. What happens a couple of days later? They exhume the body because they think Steve Ruiz is underneath the coffin. They think they killed him. After he killed Steve Thompson, they think the Hells Angels killed. Yeah, so it's just a mess. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
You know, Ruiz is on the run. He's hiding. You know, he's got a pack of Hell's Angels that back Steve Dawson after him. So within a matter of weeks after I left, everything I said was going to happen happened. You know, and I'm not happy that it did. I wish it never would have happened, but it's just an unfortunate circumstance, you know?
Well, I was going to ask you before you started telling the story, I think you kind of answered the question for me. I was going to ask you if, like, when you talk about these different gangs even today, like this is 2011, like being at clubs, clubs being at war, you know, if it's literally like the mafia going to the mattresses thing where everywhere you go, you're in danger. And then you talk about a guy being gunned down at a casino. It sounds like pretty much if you step outside while these clubs are having their disagreements,
right.
You could get gunned down,
get killed,
regardless of where you are, even if you're with family or something like that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And, you know, I mean, these guys came to Ventura not once but twice to kill me. And maybe they never would have found out. The one guy wound up ratting Taco out, and he said, "Hey, Taco sent me to Ventura to kill George." They found maps. They had maps. They had
they had maps?
Oh yeah, they had maps. They had pictures of me, which weren't hard to get, but they had a silenced, you know, equipped pistol. I mean, they were there to take care of business. But we talked about the social media for a couple of minutes. So have you seen Pee Wee? Have you seen Big Pee Wee? Like he's been making the rounds on the podcast. He was a president in Las Vegas, had a falling out with the club.
I don't think so, no.
Couple of years before I left, 3 years.
Hell's Angels is a new territory for me.
you,
There's one, remember I said we were going to bookmark something? I'll come back to that later. There's one big thing where I really started looking at it a little bit, but I'm getting an education today.
So it's Pee Wee's now kicked out of the club. It's the end of the first decade of the new century. It's like maybe 2008, 2009.
Got it.
Pee Wee's out of the club. So I'm still friends with Pee Wee on Facebook. So Flash comes into a meeting. He doesn't usually attend the meetings, but he shows up at a meeting. I'm at the meeting just by coincidence. And he raises his hand to be recognized. And, yeah, what's on your mind? I want to know why George Christie is still friends with Pee Wee on Facebook. And I stood up in the meeting, and I said, I can't believe what I just heard. I go, we're supposed to be the most fearful, powerful motorcycle club in the world, and we're talking about defriending somebody. I said, I'm not going to fucking defriend Pee Wee. And he told me, he said, if you don't defriend him, I'm going to make a push to get you out of the club. And he goes, you can't be friends with him on social media. I go, social media it's a make-believe world kind of, man.
Oh, my God.
And I had to defriend him.
That's like straight out of a comedy movie.
Yeah, I had to fucking defriend him.
You had to go home and hit the button?
I had to go home and do it.
What'd that feel like?
Well, I had to call and tell Pee Wee.
Oh, you called him and then
hey, Pee Wee, I'm defriending you, man. Don't take it personal. So maybe I'm just as bad as Flash. Now, if I'd been a hardcore 60s Hell's Angel, I just would have hit the defriend button and not even worried about it.
I feel like they would have frowned upon people having Facebook if they had it back then in the 60s.
Yeah, I think they would have too.
Right.
It's,
culture change, like you said.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I just remember, partying with guys and, there's a guy in the club, Jim Passmore, he'd fucking fight you at the drop of a hat, and then pick you up and dust you off because he thinks he might get a free drink out of it.
How many kids do you have, by the way?
4.
How old are they?
53, something like that. My son, he would be 50 now. No, how old would he be? Yeah, he'd be close to 50 now. He passed away.
Sorry,
in 2015. A 33-year-old and a 22-year-old.
The 33-year-old's the lawyer?
No, the 53-year-old.
The 53-yeard.
She's the
that
lawyer.
would make more sense.
Mariah,
she was open young back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Was your son who passed away?
He was a member.
He was a member.
Yeah, he was also a pharmacist. Remember, I told you.
Right.
I'm being facetious. I'm being a smart ass now.
So
I still joke about him because I feel like he's here with me.
My question was going to be talking with you off camera, and then like a little bit when it's come up on camera. It seems like your kids are kind of like the apple of your eye. Like
I love them. Man.
You love them,
yeah.
but so how do you
reconcile?
How do you reconcile the fact that you were a part of a club that asked you to put all that before your wife and your kids, especially your kids?
It came very easy from being a Marine.
That's
it's
just a transfer in a way.
Yeah. I changed from one uniform to another. And that's how I saw it. And that's, a lot of people are thinking, this guy's fucking crazy. But I'll tell you, I've got real close with somebody that he's in this podcast world, and I don't want to identify him. It was a private conversation on the phone after, several months afterwards. But he told me, he goes, I figured out, I've interviewed a lot of people, and he goes, guys like you are wired different.
Yes.
And I never really thought about it till he said it. And
never?
No, I never really thought about me being wired different. I just thought, I'm just George, and I don't know. I'm reluctant to say this, but have you? I don't take it you've read my book, any of my books.
I haven't. No.
So in my first book, Exile on Front Street, we get word there's a drug dealer. I'm a brand new member in the Hells Angels. We get word there's a drug dealer in Los Angeles who's selling cocaine, and he's got a fake Hells Angel patch.
Ooh.
So old man John says, you and Jesse are going to work. We're going to bring a couple of guys down from the Bay Area, and you guys are going to have a 4-man team. There's going to be 2 of you together and 2 more guys together. You guys will work together. So we're going to get this guy, and we're going to stop him. So what do you think would be a reasonable punishment for somebody impersonating a Hells Angel, selling narcotics to people, and reaping all the rewards? What do you think?
Couple broken legs.
Couple of broken legs?
Maybe see if he can fly.
Okay. I wanted to establish that first. So we locate. He's in a bar in Southern California. So I take a Slim Jim, I break into the car. I get on in the back seat, I lay on the floor, and I've got a blanket over me. And all of a sudden I hear the rocks crackling. He's walking on the rocks. He's coming to the car. The door opens. He gets in. But to my surprise, the driver's door opens too. So there's 2 guys. The one guy gets in. The driver, that's the guy with the fake patch. And the other guy gets in the club. So they're just cutting it up. They shut the door. As soon as they shut the doors, I pop up, and I've got a gun with a silencer on it. I stick it behind the guy's driving his ear. And I tell the other guy, go put your hands on the fucking dash. And he puts his hands on the dash. And I tell the guy, keep your hands on the wheel. And I said, I come for the patch. And he goes, I don't have a patch, man. I go, I know you've got the fucking patch, man. And I said, I'm not leaving without it. I go, I'm not leaving you until I get the patch. And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I swear to God. And the other guy's going, and he goes, can I get out of the car? And I go, fuck no, you can't get out of the car. I go, that's the stupidest question I've heard all day, And so I go, start driving. And they start the car up. And so we get out of town a little bit. And we've got 3 Hells Angels in 1 car. They're following me and the driver and the passenger in the lead car. And we get out in the desert and we stop. And it's wintertime. And we're going up in the mountains. It's freezing like. And I'm telling him, okay, man, you got to give us that patch. He goes, I don't have the patch. He goes, I swear to God, I don't know anything about it. And what's funny is I don't know if the guy thought it was going to be cool, but the other guy, we find out he's in a motorcycle club, and I recognize him, and he recognizes me. And he goes, hey, man, can't you just let me go? And I go, no, you're not fucking going. You're going with me. He goes, well, let me ask you this. Can I come back? And I go, yeah, you're coming back. And I go, just relax. And I go, this motherfucker, I don't know about him. So we switch cars. We put Jesse driving in the lead car. And we've got the one guy with the patch in the front seat of the lead car. And then the other guy's over here. And then the other guy's in the back with the gun I had. Now he has that gun, and I've changed positions. I'm in the back car. We're following these guys. We're going out Highway 14, and Highway 14 takes you out to the desert in Southern California, and it's getting colder and colder. And fucking highway patrol goes the opposite way and then turns around and comes back. Highway patrol pulls us over. And I don't get pulled over. Me and the lead car, rear car, we got to keep going. We can't stop.
Yeah.
And we're going, what the fuck? And of course, I didn't find all this stuff out that transpired. So the guy in the back's a real serious guy, and he tells the guy in the front with the handcuffs, he goes, if you fucking either one of you say anything, he goes, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. He goes, I'm going to shoot the cop. And he goes, I'm going to shoot both of you motherfuckers. And he goes, I got 5 gallons of gas in the back of the car. I'm going to light the car on fire. I'm going to go back to town with the other car. And so they get pulled over. The highway patrolman walks up to the car, and the highway patrolman has to know. He must smell a rat, man. And this guy's got 4 guys in the car. And these are outlaw bikers from the 70s, man. They look like outlaw bikers. And he tells him, just go, man.
It's like the scene in The Town where the cop sees everyone in the mass and they look at him.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
yeah, that's exactly what he did. He told everybody to go.
I don't need a problem.
And we hooked up again. The car caught up with us. We hooked up again. We go out to the desert, and so I open the trunk up and I get the shovel out. So I tell the guy, go uncuff him. We take the cuffs off the guy with the patch, and I tell him, start digging. And I got him digging his own grave, and he's starting to get pretty deep. And I go, make it wide enough for 2. And the other guy's like freaking out. He goes, you said I could come back. I go, yeah. I go, sorry about that, man. And I go, shit happens. And I go, if your friend here is ready to explain everything, we'll all go back to town. So the guy's digging. Now he's crying. He's starting to cry. And the sun's going down. So I tell him, I go, come on up here, man. We're all going to watch the sunset. He goes, I go, it's probably going to be your last one. And he fucking starts babbling like a baby. And he goes, what if I had the patch and we went back to town? What would happen? I go, you'd give us the patch. We would tax you.
Tax him.
Huh? We would tax you and we'll all go our separate ways. And he goes, okay, I've got the patch, man. So, we all get back in the cars.
Were you prepared to kill him?
I don't know. That's a bridge I didn't cross, man. So, I can sit here and sound like a fucking, gangster. Yeah, that motherfucker, I was looking for a way out, man. I didn't want to kill a guy. But, business is business. I'm not going to go back and tell old man John, he's back at his house, but I don't have the patch. You think I'm going to tell John that? That ain't going to happen. So we go back to town. And so now he's got 4 Hells Angels in his house. We let the other guy, I tell the guy, give me your wallet. The guy gives me his wallet. I take his license out. I shake it at him and I put it in my pocket. I go, I got your fucking address. I go, if I hear one word of this floating around the valley, I'm going to go come looking for you, or somebody else will. He goes, you never hear a word? And I never heard a word from this guy. He was in a bike club called the Devil's Disciples. They were out in the East Valley, and never saw the guy again.
I'll bet you didn't.
Yeah, I never saw the guy. But so we get to the guy's house, and maybe we were criminals. So we get to the guy. I'm just
Took
having
2 hours and 45 minutes. I knew
You
we'd
broke
get
me,
there.
man. You broke me. You didn't even have a rubber hose or anything. So I just thought of another thing that's I gotta tell you. It's a continuing story.
Please.
So we go into the house, and we got the gun on the guy. We're not taking any chances.
Right,
He goes
yeah.
in a fucking
Gotta keep
closet
it
and
on
comes
him.
out shooting, man.
Right.
So he brings the patch out. And he holds the patch up, and the guy standing next to me gets so fucking mad. He's got a taser in his hand, and he shoots him with the fucking taser with the hooks. And this guy's like
Wait, you let this guy have a taser in his hand?
No.
Wasn't he your hostage?
no. My guy has a taser in his
Oh,
hand.
your guy. Okay, sorry, I misunderstood.
Yeah. And so he tases this guy, and this guy's flopping around on the fucking. This guy's big. He's like 250 pounds, and I don't mean in shape.
Right.
And he's flopping around everywhere, and he's crying, and probably pissed his pants. And so I take the hooks out. God damn it, knock it off. We just come here. We got what we wanted. So we said, open your safe. He opens the safe. And he's got like I think he had two or 3 pounds of coke in there, cash. We wound up about $100,000. Whole bunch of fucking gold jewelry that I don't wear jewelry, so we took it back to the clubhouse, and I don't have it on.
Yeah, I don't see it.
You don't see it, and you won't.
It's a good day though.
It's melted down. Part of my $35 million that I've stashed.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
You and I
gold.
are going to go there afterwards.
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
No one else is
And
here.
no one
right
else.
now. That's right.
I'm either coming back or you're leaving me in the desert.
I could be a wealthy man with some of the guys I've had on this
I bet
podcast
you
with some
could.
buried cash.
I bet you could.
You
So
give me like a little taste.
So we tax this guy, and don't
That was
see
the
him.
end of it.
Never saw him.
Never saw him again.
Never heard from him. Never saw him again. Told him to get lost. And he was kind of prominent on the whole biker scene down there. Disappeared now. The individual with the taser. Okay, let's move ahead. Like to probably 15 years.
So where are we at now?
He's coming out of Missouri.
Yeah, but what year approximately?
15 years. It's 1978 to 77. So what's 15?
So you're in the
years?
90s now.
Yeah, we're in the early 90s. He's coming out of Missouri with 30 pounds of crank, and he gets pulled over, gets arrested, and goes on the run. And they're looking for him. He goes on the run. This guy's on the run for they're trying to find him for a couple of years. He's hiding. You never guess how they found him. He's hiding. He's going here. He's going there. He's staying at a motel where the lead FBI agent, his daughter's getting married.
At a motel?
No, at a hotel. Motel. And he's coming down the stairs, and the agent's going up, and there they are, face to face, and he gets arrested, man.
At the wedding.
At the wedding, yeah.
That's a tough way to go down.
Yeah, fuck, man. And I wonder what the bride was thinking. Fucking dad, you couldn't let him go,
On the
man.
job.
Yeah,
That's a Super Bowl.
He was on the job. Man.
Yeah, he's
He
like,
arrested
honey,
him, and
that wedding's delayed.
yeah, crazy. It's a crazy story.
Hell of a way to go down.
Yeah, he got caught at a wedding,
Mm.
but he had a successful run. But
How did you? I forgot to ask this earlier, but how did you become the leader of the Ventura chapter so quickly?
well, I
within
became
a
the
few
leader.
years.
I became the leader of the Los Angeles chapter.
That was the first one in
That was the first
'78.
one. Yeah, and then I took in '77, and then I took I kicked out a bunch of people with John's permission. I was looking for the weakest link in the chain, and I found about 5 or 6 of them. So
What made him weak?
I didn't think that they could hold up under questioning. So I didn't want nothing to do with it.
Can't have your outlaws
Yeah.
not holding up under question.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right.
Especially if they turn into criminals.
Right. Can't have that.
No, you can't have that at all. So I asked John, I said, hey, John, I go, looking at some of these people, and I'm not trusting them, man. And I go, we need to cut out these weak links in this chain. I go, how do you feel about it? And John goes, well, you go around and take Jesse with you, and you guys go handle it. And that's what we did. We went around and we wound up kicking a lot of guys out of the club that night. And
just make them hand in the patch.
yeah, we took their shit, you know.
Right.
And so a lot of them were relieved. I don't think they, you know, they got in over their heads, man. Suddenly we're in the war with the Mongols. You know, 5 people had been killed already. President of the new president of the Los Angeles Charter, he had been murdered. There was a lot of shit happening, and it wasn't positive things. It was a lot of negative
So
stuff.
you taking leadership in a situation like this and helping to restore order. They go, okay, this guy's a leader, and you take control of that chapter.
Right. And after like a few months, old man John, he was just sitting there one day in the meeting, and he goes, you know, I realize this is a young man's game. And he goes, I'm stepping down. I'll be in the club. I'm turning everything over to you. But I think John knew he had cancer. He died of cancer about the mid-'90s. Yeah. You know, he was like...
A while later.
Yeah,
but...
he was fighting it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but he had cancer.
Got it.
I don't
So
know
then
what
you
time.
come in, you're in control of that chapter, and then you open up the Ventura
I move
chapter?
everybody up to Ventura.
Okay.
I do it without permission.
Without permission.
I just do it, you know. And I found the best
Didn't you say earlier that the Hells Angels technically doesn't have a centralized command structure, though?
No, they don't. But you got to get approval. You want to start a new charter, you'd have to have a vote on it. Each charter would give you one vote, and they give you a yes vote or a no vote.
That's kind of, all right. I see what you're saying. So it's not like
they're
not like the commission in a way,
Right,
but like if you're gonna literally
It
open
is,
up
but
a
it
new
isn't.
place. Got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, it's just like sitting there. I'm the chairman of the West Coast now. A hotshot U.S. attorney could argue, well, you know, he's a leader in a de facto sense. You know, nobody wanted to do that. And you know who prosecuted us the first time in the Bay Area in the late 70s? The U.S.
Not
attorney.
the fucking Manson guy.
No, it was Mueller.
No way.
Yeah, it was
Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller was the lead prosecutor on that case. And
you were the original Mueller report.
We were.
Wow.
And we may be in the report that's out there now. And, you know, look, this is the deal. I've got 4. See, how many felonies do I got? I got 4 or 5 felonies. You know, after one, I mean, who counts? But look, no, this is serious. We have a president that has 34 felonies. Is he an outlaw or is he a criminal?
Again, definitions are awfully similar.
Yeah, I mean, you know, but he's, you know, has he served his?
If he served his time, I mean,
yeah, I mean, I guess I could run for president.
Can you run it? Oh yeah, you can run as a convicted felon. That's correct.
Yeah. I mean, he's a convicted felon.
Yeah. Trump's technically a convicted felon. That's crazy. I
wonder if he'll pardon himself when he goes out of office.
Honestly, for the shit they actually got him on,
that's bullshit.
It was bullshit.
You know, I agree. I'm not a Trump guy, but I'm not any politician guy.
Yeah, good for you. I like that.
I look. This is the problem. Trump inflated his value of his property for a loan, right?
You're talking about the indictments.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I was going to use my house for bail for a guy in San Diego. The bail appraiser, I asked him to inflate.
Yeah.
You know, I go, inflate this so I can use this for bail for my brother. He inflates the value of the home. Now, Trump borrowed the money. Trump also paid the money back. Right. What's the fucking problem?
Yeah, I don't understand. And they were trying, I forget the numbers now, but like what they were trying to say the property was worth, like they were even talking about Mar-a-Lago in one of the cases, I think it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
I haven't looked at it in a while. They're like, yeah, it's worth like, it was something, I don't want to say the number because I'll get it wrong and people will yell at me, but it was something so ridiculous. And it's like anyone could look at that and know that it's worth fucking 40 times that. Relax. Right, so if it's like, it's almost like jaywalking in real estate when people inflate a little bit. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you my jaywalking story.
You have a jaywalking story?
I have a jaywalking story. So we're in front of the ink house. Across the street it used to be the Daily Grind, but now Starbucks has taking it up, man. And we always go over there and we get espressos and coffees and whatnot. So we go to the corner to the meter. I walk across the meter with 4 or 5 of the guys. One of the guys is always getting in trouble. Hey, guys, wait for me. He runs across the street, jaywalks. And there's a cop there. So the cop pulls him over and gives him a ticket for jaywalking. And we're all catcalling the cop. We're all standing on the corner. No, he gives him a ticket for jaywalking. So my daughter takes it to trial. And she tells the prosecutor before he goes in there, she knows all the prosecutors. And she goes, man, don't embarrass yourself. She goes, I'm going to kick the shit out of you in there. And the judge is going to look at you like you're an idiot. He goes, you're prosecuting this? And he goes, well, he pled not guilty, and we think he's guilty.
Oh, my God.
So they go in there and they argue their cases, and the judge goes, it's not a metered. You can, in California, if it's metered and it says don't go, you can't cross. Anything else, you can walk anywhere you want. And if there's no meter there, you can just go. You can jaywalk. It's legal to jaywalk in California. Yeah. And the judge just was like,
what a waste of taxpayer money.
The judge was pissed, man. Yeah. And because they both put on these big arguments. And, we've got like 15 Hell's Angels in there with their patches on in court. We're seeking justice, Your Honor. And,
my God.
My daughter's going, this is ridiculous. He just should have paid the goddamn fine. She's chastising me. I go, yeah, but think of the reputation you're creating for yourself. Mariah for the defense.
For the defense.
Yeah. And
for jaywalking.
She won.
Of course she did.
Yeah.
It's legal to do it out there.
Yeah. You're expected to do it.
Yeah. Do you you haven't told the story, by the way. You carried the Olympic torch.
I did carry the Olympic
torch. In 84?
Yeah,
for 84. The LA Olympics?
Yes.
For the Hells Angels?
Yes. Hamkus. Hamkus.
They didn't check what it meant.
They didn't know what it meant.
Right.
Hamkus. So
That's
Clara Spiegel goes into the torch relay committee and says, so you're going to allow Hamkus to carry the torch? And they go, why not? Now, she's a LA Times reporter, and you could probably find her story in the Los Angeles Times. She was a Times reporter. So she goes, well, you know who Hamkus is? And they go, no, it's a corporation. And she goes, well, not quite. And they go, well, who are they? And she goes, Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, United States. So they close the building and they have emergency meeting. And they don't know what to do. They've got the Hells Angels out front waiting for the decision. They've got Clara Spiegel, the star reporter from the Los Angeles Times, on the steps of the Torch Relay Committee building. And so they, after bantering back and forth, I mean, God only knows what went on in there, they open the doors up. They tell Clara to come back in, and they announce Hamkus will be allowed to participate. And Clara comes out. You've been accepted, and
my God.
They've got the photographer there, and we're doing this. And I asked Clara, I go, what's the big deal, man? And they said it's the kind of story reporters are always looking for, and she had a term for it: man bites dog story.
Man bites dog story?
Yeah, this is a man bites dog. How often does a man bite a dog?
Oh,
right?
Didn't go in
the simplicity of it is it doesn't even register.
Yeah.
Because when she told me that, I was going,
man bites
I'm not biting no dog, man.
I had a little dyslexia on that one. I was thinking dog bites, man.
Yeah. So here we are now.
You carry a torch.
And what am I doing? The alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. Are you familiar with the Greensboro crew of the ATF? Are you familiar with the socialist shootout at the in Greensboro, North Carolina?
No, I'm thinking of another one.
Well, this was in
Greensboro shootout with ATF.
Yeah. And the Nazis and the socialists and the American Nazi Party and the
Greensboro massacre in 1979.
That's it. That crew, those ATF agents, they pulled them off that and they brought them to Ventura to start watching us because they thought and they said and they alleged we were going to supply weapons to terrorists at the lake events. The Lake Casitas was 15 minutes from the Ventura Hells Angels clubhouse.
Oh,
and they said
wow.
that the terrorists were going to store their weapons at the clubhouse and we were going to supply their weapons.
To attack here.
To attack the athletes
that's
at the Lake
crazy.
Casitas. You know, it was going to be, I mean, just ludicrous.
Yeah, that's insane.
So they had no idea that I was really integrated within the community of Ventura by 1984. We'd been there since 78. I knew everybody, man. I knew all the city fathers. I knew the politicians. I knew all the cops. I knew the chief of police. So I get a phone call from one of the merchants, and he goes, "Hey, George, you need to come down here and talk to me." And so I come down there, and he goes, "I got a card for you." And he puts the card up, and it's Agent Dickey, you know, from the ATF. And he's
one of these guys.
He's one of these guys.
Wow.
And it's the whole crew. So these guys are just coming out of one scandal. And now they're creating another one, man. Now, 6 people got killed. They killed all the socialists that were marching.
Yeah, this was November 3rd, 1979.
Right.
When members of the Ku Klux Klan and the National Socialist Party of America shot and killed 5 participants in a Death to the Klan march, which was organized by the Communist Workers' Party. A lot going on here. Yeah. The event had been preceded by inflammatory rhetoric. The Greensboro City Police Department had an informant inside the KKK.
Yeah.
And NFB.
Look for Agent Bukovich.
Okay. The Agent Bukovich.
Bukovich. Is he in there? Go back up to the top.
I'm going to do a quick find next. Do you know how to spell his name?
No, I'm not. I'm a terrible speller, man. I'm dyslexic.
All right, I got BU, if that's what. Yeah, Bernard Butkovich.
Yep,
there it is.
Yeah.
The Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms also had an agent, Bernard Butkovich, who had embedded in the Nazis' organization 3 months earlier. The morning of the shooting, the Klan informant Dawson notified the police that the Klan was prepared for armed violence and that a caravan of 9 cars of Klan and Nazis with firearms were approaching the marchers gathering at the corner of Everett and Carver Street in Morningside Homes, a public housing project. The people killed included 4 members of the CWP and 1 supporter. 3 were Greensboro residents and 2 lived in Durham, NC. The victims were activists involved in racial justice efforts and unionizing textile industry and hospital workers in the area. In addition to the 5 deaths, 9 demonstrators, 2 crew members, and a Klansman were wounded.
It's a wild thing. So
that sounds like Quentin Tarantino needs to make a movie.
He does need to make that movie. Now, let me tell you.
That's got him written all over
and
it.
this is the deal. In the Ventura clubhouse, after this started, I started doing research on these guys. I have a picture. Well, I don't have it anymore. I had a picture of Agent Bukovich in his Nazi uniform with the swastika.
Oh,
we had it framed and hanging in the clubhouse. and like, these guys were going around telling people we were going to supply weapons to terrorists.
But then the happy ending happens.
Yeah.
And you literally are carrying the torch of Olympic
I'm carrying
freedom.
the torch. I get on the meeting. I said, well, we've been accepted in the torch relay. Hamkus is now officially a bearer of the torch relay. And I said, not only do we support the Olympics, I'm being all dramatic with the media. I go, I'm doing like a little press conference. Not only are we supporting the Olympics, we are now participating in the Olympics. and the cops are like, fuck this guy, you know. And
What's that like? What'd you carry it for, like a mile? Something like that?
A kilometer.
What's that like? That's got to be a pretty surreal feeling.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, man.
Right?
Yeah.
Huge crowds of people watching you.
Man.
Who are you handing it off to at the end?
Well, you're going to love this. I initially was supposed to hand it off to a woman, and then somebody started a rumor the Hells Angels will not hand the torch to a woman. We have to switch places. We have to bring a man in, and we'll have to move the woman down one.
Oh, my God.
and because we were male chauvinist pigs. And, you know, I was on a television show one time, and the guy was being a jackass. He said, I want to ask you a question. He goes, are you a sexist? And I said, absolutely, I love sex. And the guy thought I was serious, man. And I was just like, I mean, what do you do with people? What do you do with somebody that asks you a question like that? Tell me you love sex, right?
Yeah, it's a gotcha question. You handled it the right way.
Yeah,
That's what you do. You turn it around on that.
Yeah, so these guys, they're pissed off. They're angry. George Christie's a dirty motherfucker. So are the Ventura Hells Angels. So about 3 weeks after the torture relay, do you know what happens?
Well, this is before 86. You don't have the entrapment yet, right?
No, this is in 1984.
Yeah, so what happens 3 weeks after?
Somebody throws a hand grenade into the clubhouse.
Yours in Ventura?
Yeah, in the Ventura clubhouse.
Who threw it?
Well, I'm going to tell you. On the archway, I get a phone call. George, somebody just threw a fucking bomb in here, man. Get down there as fast as you can. I live about 10 minutes from the clubhouse at the time. I jump on my bike. I'm fucking haul ass down there. I get there, there's cops everywhere. The fucking smoke's still coming out of the clubhouse from the explosion. David Ortega's in really bad shape. Man, he's got shrapnel all over him. Guy upstairs, the shrapnel goes up through the roof. And, the guy up there goes up, gets wounded in the neck. The shrapnel goes up. So I'm there. I'm pissed. I get in a fight with one of the cops, like a verbal argument. He goes, we know you guys were making a bomb in there. And I said, if we were making a fucking bomb, I go, we wouldn't make it here, and David Ortega wouldn't be the guy making it. And so we're going back and forth. So one of the cool cops I know, I see him there, and I go, and he comes over, and I go, the grenade spoon is laying in the archway of the clubhouse where they throw the grenade in and the spoon pops off. Yeah. You're familiar with how a grenade works, right? Yeah. So he gets me the numbers off the spoon. I hire a private investigator who's a former FBI agent. He's now in the private sector. And I say, trace this spoon, locate this spoon. Where did it come from? You never guess where it came from. Came from Akron, Ohio Military Armory. And you know who else lives in the Akron, Ohio area?
Who?
The Greensboro Massacre Squad.
Oh, my God. You think they did it?
Yeah. And I got on the news, and they said I got pretty good at these press conferences. So
Real Chuck Schumer over here.
Do you have any suspects? I go, I have a long list, and the ATF's right at the top. I couldn't resist, you know. I just had to do it. And so now, in my new book, I identified the police officer that told me the ATF threw the bomb in there. And it's in my book.
Oh, you got a police officer to tell you that?
Yeah.
And they had proof?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's pretty evident, you know.
Right.
You got that squad in town. You got a grenade in the clubhouse. You got a spoon laying in the archway of the clubhouse door. The numbers on the spoon trace back to the armory where the ATF unit is stationed.
And this is where it comes around to the age-old question of, like, at what point...
Was it the chicken or the egg?
Yeah. Who's the cop and who's the criminal?
Yeah,
or what's the difference?
The outlaws. They're not outlaws. Those are criminals.
Right.
We're outlaws.
You know what I mean.
I know. I'm being a smartass.
Yeah.
But, you know, I have the luxury of being a smartass now.
Yeah.
Because it's,
you're good at it.
What is it, 40 years later?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still here. And those guys
Statute of limitations.
Most of these guys are dead, you know.
Right.
And I'm still here, you know. I heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, and this is something I've tried to research and I've never had much luck. I understood that Vukovic liked to fly his plane. And Vukovic went up in his plane and there was a fuel problem and he crashed. Whether that's true or not, I never could confirm if it was true or just.
You don't even know if he died in a plane crash?
No, I don't know. I know they considered him a provocateur. There was lawsuits. Vukovic's name. Nobody got. None of those names up there, those agents, ever got prosecuted, but they were identified as a provocateur.
This is a rabbit hole and a half.
Oh,
I feel like I'm going to be reading some books on this afterwards.
You should be doing a show on it.
Yeah, no, I think that might happen. This is one of the craziest things. Just the first 3 paragraphs of that Wikipedia article are one of the most insane things I've ever read in my life. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, there was one thing I was
I wonder if there's a picture of Bukovic with his Nazi uniform.
Bernard Bukovic?
Yeah,
well, let's try
Nazi
it.
Uniform.
Bernard, how did that get spelled? Butkovic?
Yeah, Butkovic, I think.
ATF?
ATF, put images.
Right, let's start with this. All right, that's not him.
That's not him.
In Nazi uniform. Are you hiding? No. If anyone can find that online, toss it in the YouTube comments. And don't write the word Nazi because YouTube will probably fucking hide the comment. But, great, that's nuts.
Yeah.
Now, there was one thing I said I was going to bookmark, and there's a lot more on the bone here, so I'm probably going to have you on the podcast again to go through some more stories.
Well,
so we can definitely do that.
We're always available.
But
we work 24 hours a day.
clearly, I
Always
mean, you're
open.
last minute. It's at night too. I love it. This is great. This is my kind of podcast.
This is past my bedtime right now.
Really? For you? I feel like you don't have one.
No, well, you know.
You're like Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds, just like the whole time.
Yeah.
You still do that?
Nah, but
Okay.
I'm reluctant. A few years ago, I did some coke, and it didn't seem that good, man.
It's not as good these days.
Now,
huh?
you know, like guys like Pablo get killed, man, the quality goes down.
Quality goes down,
You know?
right.
And, you know, there was a point in time I was up for honorary citizenship of Colombia. I had so much Colombian blow up my nose. You know, if anybody should have been an honorary citizen,
We'll leave that one
It
right
should have
there.
been me in the
Should have been
80s.
you. That's right. In the 80s was a hell of a time,
Oh,
so
my
I hear.
God. What can I say?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Olympic torches all the way
Olympic
to fucking
torches.
nose torches.
Mickey Rourke was the hottest sex symbol.
Oh, my God. The Pope of Greenwich Village?
Yeah. 9.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Kim Basinger. Mickey and I
She's still a dime.
Yeah,
Kim Basinger?
we were running around. Mickey and I were running around Hollywood at the time.
You and Mickey?
Yeah.
All right. I have to get to this last thing. We're going to be here all night
Okay,
if we
let's
do
go.
that. That's
All
for
right.
the next podcast.
That's for the next
You're
podcast.
running around with... All right. Bookmark that, everyone. The one thing I promised you I was going to bring up, though, was a very interesting person I had sitting in that seat. One of the most interesting people I've ever had. You ever hear of a guy, Matthew Hedger?
Sounds familiar.
You wouldn't have known him under that name, and I don't know if you did know him.
What name?
I don't know
Would I
what the
know
name
him?
was, but I'll tell you his
Witness
story.
protection name or
No, he's CIA.
CIA.
So he was a knock. You familiar with that term?
no?
A knock, NOC, is non-official cover. It is the deepest level spy
Okay.
the CIA has.
Now I know what you're talking about.
They're totally off books. Every CIA spy is supposedly deniable, but these guys are actually literally deniable. It's straight out of a movie. There's no record of them, whatever. The only reason I could get Matt on the podcast is because after a long career of doing this, a foreign intelligence service got a leak in CIA and leaked 5 knock names, real names, on the dark web, which, you know, most people don't see that, but it's at least like public in some way. So they all had to be pulled from the field. Matthew was one of them. So there's a lot of countries he can't go to. But Matthew, as a knock, what CIA wants these guys to do is to be criminals. They don't want to go stop criminal organizations or outlaw organizations. They want you to be a part of them. So
And what do they want you to do?
all different things. With Matthew, he was sent to a mansion of a guy who was a very legitimate businessman who you would never know was actually a knock. He said people in the public might know who this guy is. And the guy trained him straight out of a movie for I think it was 11 months. The CIA would bring in people to do stuff with him. And he was trained in a lot of different things. But the thing that he was made to be an expert in was money laundering. And so what they wanted him to do was start making friends in the underworld and find his way into organizations that had international ties. So
What was the purpose? What were they trying to achieve?
I'm going to explain
Okay,
that.
all right.
So he starts off through the earliest connections and finds his way into one of the top 4 biker gangs, biker clubs,
Thank you.
of which Hell's Angels is one of them. Now, he would not tell me which of the 4 it was. So I don't know if it could have been the Pagans, could have been someone else, but it was one of the four. And the reason that they were useful is because, yes, there was outlaw activity happening within said club, and they're international clubs, in some cases at least. So he would, or they would have some sort of international presence or reason to go internationally. So he would be a member of this club. In his case, he would do drug trafficking and some things like that and help with money laundering. And then they might go to Hungary for a trip. So when they're going to Hungary, the Hungarian FBI, whatever it is, flags that these biker club guys are coming in, and they're like, okay, that's ours. All right, yeah, we'll just watch them for like drugs or crime or something like that. They're not flagging the fact that one of these guys is a CIA spy who just needs 15 minutes at one point to basically take off his mask and go meet some guy with some nuclear codes involving Russia and walk back and use the criminal organization, quote unquote,
for his cover.
as a cover.
Okay.
So he did that and had a lot of success in the biker club for, I think it was about 4 years, and through the club made connections to the Mexican cartel. Long story short, ended up being one of the chief money launderers for the cartel and was responsible. He told a story about how he flipped a top 10 banker at a top 10 bank to launder money for the cartels. And I'm just, the reason I bring it up is because I wanted to ask you, did you, as someone who also was always trying to like rat out and, find informants who were trying to rat you guys out and stuff like that for regular, things that could happen where you get pulled into criminal court or something like that, were you ever looking for guys that you think might be working for the government to take advantage of you guys, like a CIA? Was that ever a thought?
Let me tell you what happened. When the war broke out in the Scandinavian, are you familiar with the Nordic Bike War?
No.
Okay. Nordic Bike War, you can look it up. The Nordic Bike War was between the Hells Angels and the Banditos, and it took place in the Scandinavian countries.
January 1994 to 97?
Yes.
Does that sound right? Okay.
Okay. I was at the peace talks to end that war. Now, what's really interesting is Jim Tyneman, I think that's how you pronounce it. He's a convicted felon. He was a representative of the Banditos. They wanted to bring him to the United States. The representative from the Hells Angels his name was Blondie. I don't know his real name. I just know him by Blondie. He was a convicted double murderer. He killed a couple of guys during the first Nordic Bike War. So he had come home now. He'd done his time. They can't get in the United States. They're murderers. Yeah. So what does the Scandinavian government do? They call the United States government and they say, George Christie from the Hells Angels and George Weggers are trying to end this war here in Scandinavia. We need you guys to give Blondie and Jim a special visa to allow them to come into the United States, meet with George Weggers and George Christie to resolve this war. Too many people are getting killed. So they fly into the country, and what do the cops give us? They give us a phone number. It's a stand-down number. They said during the peace negotiations, as you're negotiating, if any law enforcement personnel interfere, you give them this number and you tell them to call it. And, that's pretty heavy.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's something.
Yeah, so
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, there's something going on there. And ultimately, what happens is we resolve the peace issue here, but they don't want to announce it in the United States. And I don't care. My end goal was to end the war. So George Weggers, he's now dead. George Weggers and I wound up becoming really close friends. I'll tell you a little story about him in a minute. So Blondie and Jim decide, okay, we're going to end the war. We're going to end it, but we're going to announce it in Finland because they actually get on TV and they announce the end of the Scandinavian biker war on television with the politicians standing there with them.
God.
It's a goddamn media event. And
It's like the fucking Oslo Accords.
yeah, it's So I tell you what I'm upset about. Trump thinks he's upset. Where the hell's my Nobel Peace Prize? So I'll end the story with one story about George Weggers. The first time I meet George Weggers, I go to the Banditos. I go to the international leader, a guy named Sprocket. Sprocket's getting ready to go to prison for racketeering. And he says to me, he goes, I'm turning everything over to George Weggers. And he goes, and you're going to like him, I go, okay. So the Eagles owned a house, the rock band, the Eagles, they owned a house in Malibu Canyon where they used to rehearse. Richard Lester is a very rich, prominent lawyer in the motorcycle culture. He bought the house after the Eagles, left or whatever. So the first peace talks we have with the Banditos, it's at this place that used to be the Eagles rehearsal place. And Richard Lester hosts the meeting. These guys drive in. We know they got guns because they're driving in from Texas. They're in a car. They're in a van. There's 6 of them. We said, you come, I come. We each bring 5 people, and that's it. Nobody else. And, of course, we say, and no guns. But we got guns, and I know they got guns. So we have this meeting and open the door, and we're negotiating, and nobody else is talking, just me and George are going back and forth. And I'm going, this guy's okay, man. I like him, So then we have another meeting. And every time we have a meeting, we've got to bring 5 or 6 guys that are carrying guns in case the shit breaks out. So we're trying to bring Canada in on the meeting. I can't get into Canada.
Right, yeah.
So we meet at Peace Park in Bellingham, Washington, and the Hells Angels from Canada come down, and we all meet on the border. And there's a bench in the middle of the park, and one side's Canada, and one side's.
Oh my God!
So we meet there, and they're up there with the parabolic mics, trying to listen to what we're saying and all this shit, and. We're making peace, man. And so after that meeting, I said to Weggers, I go, look, man, this is getting expensive. Coming up here, all these fucking guys, all this security. I go, let's meet in the airport. I'll fly into Washington. Let's meet in the area, in the ticketed area, where you have to go through security. I said, I'll get off my plane. I'll never go out of the ticketed area.
Yeah.
You come in with a ticket, buy a one-way ticket somewhere, cheapest thing you can get into security, and we can have our meetings at one of these little bars or restaurants in here, and we don't have to have any security because you don't have a gun and I don't have a gun. And so we start meeting like that, and then finally, I don't know if George said it or I said it, you know what? Fuck this. I'll meet you, man. And I start going up to his pad, and we become like good friends. And, I leave the club, and he leaves the club, and we remain friends.
Yeah, look at that. Happy ending.
Yeah, can you believe that? He
awesome.
passed away, man. But I just talked to his son. I always wish his family Merry Christmas and stuff. But that was kind of a unique way to use the security system to our benefit.
Yeah, very creative.
Yeah, so more creative with where I hid my money, though. I'm gonna tell you.
Like I said, we're going to find that 35. You and me.
Part 2.
That's right.
Part 2 is the quest for dollars.
Quest for the 35.
Yeah.
Fund this podcast. But you said you would do it all again in a second.
In a second, man.
Are you happy today? Now that you're 14, 15 years out?
I'm very happy, man. I
good.
married my childhood sweetheart. So my first marriage ends. My wife and I separate. She dies. God rest her soul. Good woman. My second wife, marriage didn't turn out too good.
That's the one you don't talk with.
Yes. And my advice don't marry a woman 30 years younger than you. It's my mom warned me. The old Greek woman, the former
gotcha.
Marine.
Yep.
Good
advice.
She yelled at me like I was in boot camp. You really think this is going to work? And,
Seems like 5 to 10's the sweet spot on the gap.
Yeah.
know?
So, anyways, I'm the last couple. I'm going to Spain. My book has been optioned by a production company in Spain. They're going to make an episodic TV series for my book, Marked. So they pay all my expenses. Everything's first class. I'm in, living high on the hog. I'm in Spain living. Before I leave for Spain, I meet with Bob and Beverly Gianelli. Beverly I've known since I was 12. Bob I've known since I'm probably 15 or 16. Lifelong friends. The meal is I'm getting ready to leave the country. I figured I'm never going to see anybody again. I'm not coming back. I'm going to stay there, man. I'm going to make $20 million. I'm going to stay in Spain, man. So at the dinner, he takes me aside. He goes, I got cancer, man. And he goes, well, I'm going to beat it, And I go, good for you, Bob. And Bob's a big football player, tough guy, not a Hell's Angel guy. He's a businessman. Ran a beer distributing company. He's a very successful guy. So I go to Spain. Him and Beverly go back to Hawaii. That's where they're living. They're from Ventura, but they're living in Hawaii now, in Kauai. And Bob and I are communicating, and the communication quits. And I get a call from Beverly about 6 months later. She goes, Bob died. And so somehow the stars align, and Beverly and I start talking about, what are we going to do, man? We're both at the last quarter of our lives, man. And now Beverly is, her husband's dead. Her 57-year companion of marriage is gone. She's drifting. I'm drifting aloft, and the rest is history. We wind up together. I come back to California. She meets me in California. We're together a few weeks. And I go, you know what? Let's go to Vegas and elope. Let's not even tell anybody.
You went to Vegas.
We went to Vegas and eloped.
Straight up hangover. Love it.
Straight up hangover is right. So where did we get married at? The Elvis Drive-In Chapel, man. You gotta love it, man.
You have pictures of that?
Yeah, but you really, I got some pictures somewhere.
You had to be there.
Yeah, you had to be
right.
there, And,
good for you.
So we've been married now 3 years,
Working out well.
Oh man, I'm just like a fucking kid, man.
That's awesome. I'm
so happy. Her family's happy because she's a lot of woman to handle, man. And they go, let George do it, man. And it's we talk about Cheryl. We talk about her husband a lot. My first wife and Beverly were good friends, and we were all buddies, But,
it all worked out.
So that's where I'm at in my life, man. I'm very happy. I'm getting on the plane tomorrow. I'm going home. I'm spending New Year's Eve with her and my dog Fonzie.
You got a dog.
I got a
Fonzie.
Jack Russell named Fonzie, man.
Oh
Rides in my sidecar.
Oh my God.
Wears goggles. Gets in the sidecar, man.
Oh my God. You are a documentary and a movie all in one.
Well, this is great. We get in here at the last minute.
Thank you so much for doing it.
Well,
you
thank
just did
you,
not
man.
disappoint. I mean,
Yeah,
you are
man.
something else. Thanks for putting it together as well, Adam.
Yeah, and I dug the little thing you sent, and I put it up on my. See, I'm learning all about this social media shit. I put it up on the reel.
Oh, the story I put out.
Yeah.
Kind of live tweet what's going on.
People were writing me and shit. What are you?
That's
You're
cool.
doing it, man. And I love the haters. You'll do anything for a fucking dollar,
Oh,
man.
fuck 'em.
And you know what I told him? I have a thing I do with my haters that follow me. I said, your mom's very expensive. Everything's referenced back to their mothers, and
Good for you.
And I've had people go, my mother was a saint. How can you talk to her like that?
I've done the same thing. I know exactly what you're talking about. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, she died 10 years ago. I'm like, all right, that's your fault for,
Right.
coming at us. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
I'm sorry your
that's what
mom
I said.
died.
I go, you're writing the ex-Hell's Angel. You're talking shit to me. And what do you think I'm going to do? Lay down?
Yeah.
You know?
That's
And,
it.
you know,
I
it's
don't
like
think
I answer all mail. I even answer my hate mail if it's creative.
If it's
If it's not good, I just say, this guy's got no, you know, if it's good, I take them on.
Good for you. Good for you.
All right.
We're going to have to do this again. This
Okay.
was awesome.
Let's do it, man.
Thank you so much. What was that?
Taylor Sheridan's got to give us a call. We got something for him.
Oh, yeah. No, I think this, Tarantino, there's a lot of people that could give you a call.
Stuff, man.
There's a lot of stories on the bone that we didn't get to today.
You know,
so.
I just ran into Tarantino and Sean Penn. I was at Michael Madsen.
All right, please stop talking.
Okay,
I
all
can't
right,
do
man.
this.
I'll just shut up. Man.
This is just going to be all night if we do this. We have to.
I have stories that will last.
I know.
all
We
night
got to
long.
leave people wanting part 2, though,
Okay.
George.
All right. Well,
all right?
in part 2, I was one of the people at Michael's memorial that I gave a speech to the audience. Tarantino did, and then I got up there.
Oh, wow.
And I was good friends with Michael Madsen. You know who Michael Madsen
Oh, yeah,
was?
yeah, amazing actor.
Unbelievable. Man.
Yeah.
And, you know, he passed away last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know what I'm going to do tomorrow?
What are you
I'm
going
going to post a picture of me and Michael from like 10 years ago, and standing by this cool Thunderbird car. You know, he was thinking about buying, but I just thought about that.
Yeah, he was a great actor.
Yeah,
too.
unbelievable, man. You know, all the stuff he was good in. I really liked him in Donnie Brasco, man.
Donnie Brasco is one of the most underrated movies ever made.
I'm telling you, man.
Sonny Black.
Oh man, you know. And anyways, I'll shut up, man. You know, can I go?
You're-
You asked me if I could
you're
go
awesome.
another couple hours.
Oh, I know you could.
Shit, man.
I know you could, but we got to leave people wanting a part 2 at
Okay,
some
well,
point.
we'll give it to him, man.
We'll do it for sure. Thank you so much for
All
doing
right,
this.
thank you, man. I
All
really
right.
mean that.
Everybody else, you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me. Peace.
Thank you guys for watching the episode. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button and smash that like button on the video. They're both a huge, huge help. And if you would like to follow me on Instagram and X, those links are in my description below.